over those 4 games, I think Secret won 3 of them, and FANATIC won 1 game. When you're losing Dota, you have bad KDAs. When you're winning Dota, you have good KDAs. That's
okay.
That's what it is, Gary. Sorry.
No, as Occam's razor, right? You look for the simplistic answer that completely resolves the problem.
Yeah, and I think I will say when it comes to Secret, as far as stats go, Nisha's the guy they like set up for. He's kind of like the true carry in some ways for Team Secret. They often put Chrysalis on these the Razor being the one he most, notoriously is known for being overly picked, maybe according to some fans. But they're often putting Nisha on more these like X Factor mid heroes that can really take over the game in terms of either carrying like Shadow Fiend type heroes or just being like huge playmakers that get a ton of kills, like the Spirit type heroes. So I think Secret really looked to set him up for success.
Yeah, and since adding Resolution, it feels like he's taken a bit more farm priority as well, especially thinking about comparison to Ice Ice Ice, as even Chrysalis's Monkey King feels like it takes a bit of a sacrificial role in some of these games. You think of Monkey as the position 1, but often it feels like Chrysalis is the Amar of this team. He's kind of the pos 3, but still on a carry hero.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get things underway. The draft has begun, so we'll see which of those heroes come out here. We kind of touched a little bit upon the Silencer having been a key hero. I think the other one, when it came to Secret during Lance Chance qualifiers, we saw them a bit, and Nyx Assassin for Zayats he was so good on this hero, and Secret was so good at playing around the vision he gave and the initiations that he could set up.
Yeah, and the Silencer you talked about, first phase priority now, banned out in the first phase there by FANATIC, and Primal Beast, the hero that we've seen so much play through LCQ and into the group stage. And pretty decent flexibility, but I've got to say I've enjoyed it much more from the 2 and 3 roles than anywhere else we've seen.
Yeah, I think the core role is where this hero looks best, but the fact it can be played in the support, it adds a little bit of extra value if suddenly you get later on in the draft and something really stands out as like a key hero to win you the game, whether it's a core or your Primal Beast you feel like is being countered, and you're like, okay, we need to put this on a support so the impact is minimized.
Is this Morphling time for FANATIC? We've seen a lot of these first phase, last pick of the first phase Morphling picks into the triple. Oh, hello. Bump into Zayats. How you doing?
Yeah, come around, getting a bit close and comfy there. Zayats, he's in the good spirits. That's a good sign when I see that. Like, he's nice and awake. I saw Nisha there with his hoodie on. He was looking a little sleepy, like he might need a little face wash. But the rest is Secret. They're looking good. And when it comes to one of the players we haven't talked about, Rezo is a TI beast. When it comes to like players who show up and play well at TI, Rezo is one of the first names I think of. This is a guy who I think stood in for Team Empire like many years back, and as a stand-in, he carried Team Empire to top 8 finish. Like, he is with DC, he had a second place runner-up. All right, so he's an absolute monster when it comes to TI performances.
Yeah, absolutely is. He's had some great times. He's been playing on a lot of these big teams as well. Thinking back on it, Virtus Pro, the Forward, J-Storm for a little bit.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He's taken a lot of teams that were kind of dark horses or not expected to do well and did well. Like that DC team, a lot of people had like finishing near the bottom. The VGJ team that crushed like their group stage, and then unfortunately met OG and stuff in the bracket. Like they weren't expected to be one of the top teams. So it feels like he's been a part of a lot of these underdog teams who have overperformed when it comes to TI.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting hearing Puppy say, I think it was his interview at the end of LCQ, about Resolution joining and the fact that Rezo's idea of how he wanted the game to be played was already kind of cemented in his mind, how he felt he wanted to play rather than fitting the team style or ideas of what was going on. So he's kind of merged his play style and coming from a carry player into the position 3, it's been looking pretty good for those kind of players in this meta in particular, because pos 3 is basically just another carry anyway. Like, yeah, you're still playing Mars and Beastmaster from time to time, but you can still pull out like a Mirana or something that we've seen from him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his Mirana, that was amazing to watch. He was carrying that game, so curious to see where he ends up this game. The Primal Beast definitely a candidate for his hero, but that could also be the mid laner, so we'll see where this draft goes. You touched on what FANATIC might pick up with that 4th pick of the draft. Usually that's where you do see the Morphlings or these heroes that you pick up and then you ban out the counters. And it's kind of interesting they just go for a Tiny, which is likely going to be a 4 position with the Enigma. I guess it can flex to the mid lane depending on the matchup, but it does feel like that's, not generally how we see teams utilize first pick. Usually you want to pick up some kind of, game-winning hero in that fourth pick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is them toying with another idea of how to deal with a primal beast, because we've seen a few heroes. The good old Disruptor has been one of them, where you glimpse him away, you make sure he doesn't keep trampling forward. You've got Kinetic Field to stop him from playing aggressively. Maybe Tiny's another one where you've got Avalanche Toss to kind of disrupt Primal Beast pre-BKB anyway in terms of his initiation. Because we've seen Beasts dive in with the Onslaught, 2,000 range initiation, then you get tossed even deeper. That could cause some struggles.
Yeah, it's definitely... The Primal Beast feels like one of these heroes that can look amazing until it doesn't, and then when it doesn't, it looks really questionable. Like, you're like, oh, why did he just dive into 5 heroes and, kind of feed or, miss his initiation? So we'll see what kind of Primal Beast shows up here. But it's it's just funny to see, because when you mess up with Primal Beast, it's extra punishing with the Onslaught.
Oh, the Earth Spirit coming out again. So I think that's 3 games on the trot now where Secret have gone this. They 2-0'd Beast Coast, picking up this Earth Spirit for Zayat. An interesting one, because we're much more used to, like you say, the Nyx Assassin, the Tusk, the Tiny, these other heroes that are very adept at kind of rolling into team fights and starting things off.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a comfort pick when it comes to Zayat, so not too surprised to see it picked up because of that reason. In fact, it's his most played hero of all time when it comes to competitive Dota. So I think very much like if they're going to Secret when it comes to Earth Spirits, like if it's viable in the meta, they're going to want to pick it. Maybe not first phase because it's not considered to be like the best 4 position, but they'll pick it up somewhere in the draft.
Yeah, and he's a real handy hero to front line along with the Primal Beast. Now you've got two incredible initiators, right? This double strength melee 2,000 range initiation duo between the Beast and the Earth Spirit, and this will allow you to pick pretty much any number of ranged carry or damage dealer from range. We've already seen them pair these up with like a Sniper or a Leshrac. Added a bit of tower damage from Lesh could be pretty nice here, as well as the fact we've seen Lesh as not a counter, but a hero that can do well against Enigma's Black Hole.
Yes. Yeah, you don't feel like you're just taken out of the fight completely when you get Black Hole. And perhaps a little surprisingly, Leshrac so far the most picked hero of these TI group stage. I don't know if that will necessarily remain the case, and there's a lot of heroes with a similar number of picks, but it's sporting a 50% win rate over 20 games.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a surprise there. I mean, Shadow Fiend, Marcy, Primal Beast, no surprises whatsoever with all those.
Yep.
Leshrac's been a shining star. He's got Crystal Maiden now for FANATIC.
Yep. I'm on board the CM hype trade. I mean, she's just a 5. Like, she's not doing anything super flashy, but I think she works as this, like, decent lane securer. Just has kept receiving these little mini buffs over time. She's still squishy. She's still slow, but as far as securing her lane, particularly with carries who have like a lot of kill potential. Like, I want to see CM paired with a kill lane. You don't pick CM to me with like your super hard carries. Like, I was about to say, if they pick a TB here, I'm going to look really dumb, but I don't think you want to play your TB type heroes with CM.
And having a Bloodseeker is much nicer. So now you've got Blood right into Frostbite. Lots of abilities there to kind of catch out a Primal Beast or an Earth Spirit and make sure that they're not diving you. Now, if you're outputting damage onto your opponents, they're going to be a little more tentative with their own aggression and temper that a little bit more. I also like the Maiden just with the aura here with Enigma and Tiny as well. Yeah. If it is a 4 Tiny, we've seen a lot more of this phase boots build, going for phase then into the blink. So having that mana regeneration just running around the map, spamming Eidolons on the Enigma also helps out tremendously for that Maiden's aura. Yeah,
a lot of these side lanes are going like casual Bassies and stuff. So CM kind of, means maybe you don't need to get that casual Bassie. At the same time, I don't know how early this aura comes online. Usually you want to go 1-1-0 first, so the aura doesn't come until level 3 at the earliest. So I feel like in the past CM aura was like super sick and it just got nerfed too much. And it hasn't really been since CM, got dumpstered, all the buffs to make CM relevant again, none of them are really on the aura. The only aura buff CM has gone was like when they increased the effectiveness on yourself with the aura, but like I like the spell as like this team thing. Like I think it was good when the aura like really helped out your whole team.
Well, what was it? The aura gave like magic resistance or something a few years back, right?
Oh, there was. Well, you used to have the. I don't know. Do you still have the talent where it like has the mana cost reduction talent? I think they got rid of that, right? On the aura. Because it used to be like you'd pick CM with like a Storm or a Tinker, and they had this like mana cost reduction that was like global. But yeah, that's gone now, I think. Yeah, looking at the talents of CM, it's no longer there.
Yeah, I mean, for an aura, it's been changed quite a lot over the past a couple of years. Yeah.
7.32 self bonus factor increased from 3 to 4. So you have this global aura that's not, it's more a self aura. Like I look at this now, it's like 4 times on yourself. Like, is this really an aura? It's you're getting this spell for yourself, not for your team anymore. It only goes up to 1.5 mana regen at level 4. Like it used to be such a sick global aura, and now it's just some greedy ass thing for 5 positions to get.
Yeah, it used to give magic resistance back in 7.31. I knew I wasn't going crazy. It was definitely definitely there at one point. I used to give every time Maiden cast a spell, give a burst of mana to people. Yeah, man, that aura's had some wild changes.
Oh, I did not remember that one. Man, Dota changes quickly.
Yeah, it does. Replenishes mana to allies within 1200 radius whenever Maiden cast any of her abilities. Well, that's long gone. Sad times. All these Maiden players complaining about move speed, but you should be complaining about your aura being changed so often. But anyway, back into draft. Viper in for Team Secret, and a couple of bans out from FANATIC on TA and Gyro.
Yeah, giving Rezo some of these kind of semi-carry off laners. The Earth Spirit Viper lane looks pretty damn potent. Not a fun lane to go against if you're a Crystal Maiden. But at the same time, like if you can position well, like I think the fact that your CM has firepower and kill threat, like, you know, if Earth Spirit oversteps, if Viper, you know, if you any kind of rotation, that's the thing with Viper. Like it's kind of like this win the lane, but then you get ganked and kind of, you know, win the lane, lose the game. But I think with Viper, it's like you win your lane, but then any kind of rotation comes and you have no way to protect yourself.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and it often feels like you have to play into the Viper's lane, right? It's not a hero that wants to be moving or roaming, very slow and sluggish. It's nice to have Earth Spirit and Primal Beast both in these gap closers that can chase people down and allow that Viper to give chase as well.
Yeah, Primal Beast, very good hero to rotate to some of these slide lanes. And FANATIC go Queen of Pain, all right. Not something I've seen much of, I feel like, during this group stage so far.
Yeah, another tempo hero. I mean, Enigma, Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain. It feels like Enigma's the position 1 in this game, and Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain are going to be running around killing people. There's a lot of magic damage and chase here from FANATIC. They actually team fight around Freezing Field, Black Hole, Sonic Wave.
Yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah, I feel like they're going for this very mid-game centric draft. There's no scaling. There's no real late game. I mean, yeah, Enigma is late game, and Quad Bloodseeker, you know, they're at least semi-carries of sorts. But now with this sniper pickup, they don't want to go late game, and Secret have picked this hero that kind of just turtles it up. And they actually did this before. They're going to do Safe Lane Viper. We've seen this during the Last Chance qualifier where they have like 2 side lane like heroes that are kind of both offlaners, and they put Nisha on this mid carry. So Safe Lane Viper for Chrysalis.
Cool. So that's how they're going to pick up the tempo then and actually try and fight back into FANATIC. I mean, how does Viper do against an Enigma lane though? It's going to be with an Enchantress, I guess.
Yeah, I think. Oh, you kind of win the lane, but it's just annoying because Enigma's just going to keep denying your creeps. Like I think Enigma has to be pretty careful not to get caught out there, because I think Ench Viper have a ton of kill potential. With that said, it may be Earth Spirit with the Viper. I think the Enchantress going to the offlane with Rezo's Primal Beast maybe makes more sense. It's, let's put range support with the melee, core, and put melee support with the range core. I think doing double range and double melee is just weaker. So we'll see. And I think if you're anything, you want the Earth Spirit playing with Viper because you feel like that's a lane where there's some serious kill threat, and Earth Spirit maybe brings a bit better initiation compared to the Enchantress.
Yeah, and having displacement as well. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. Roll in, you kick back, you make sure that whoever's being gone on, if it is that Enigma, gets stuck inside the Nether Toxin or just dragged back into more poison attacks as game 1 between Secret and FANATIC nearly ready to get underway here. First group stage match of day 2 for TI 2022 as we get ourselves prepped for this one. Gods, are you leaning one way or the other? If this was blind and you just saw drafts, which one do you favor? Ignore the team names.
Ignore the teams. I would say Secret. I like that. Like you see the FANATIC draft and think to me, it doesn't scale that well. And it's like, okay, well, how well can they kind of crush the game and snowball and, take objectives, go high ground? And it's not that well. Like this sniper pick feels like this pick that gives Secret better late game and a way to guarantee that it goes into the late game.
So you think the sniper's like a gotcha pick right at the end?
Yeah, I think for as far as 10th pick heroes go, it feels perfect. I think often these teams who play with second pick, they get to 10th pick of the draft and are like, oh, there's, we can get this and it's good, but it's not going to win us the game. I feel like Secret have managed to really nail the draft with this sniper pick.
Yeah, it looks incredibly good. And then if you add in team names there, does that just add to Secret's cause?
No, I actually think the teams are pretty evenly matched. I'm a big Fnatic believer at this TI. Every LAN event Fnatic goes to, I'm a Fnatic believer, and then they kind of disappoint. But I'm ready to be hurt one more time. They're kind of the Quincy crew of SEA, where they're consistent. They do so well online, and you get hype for them at LAN, and then it's like, oh, they didn't actually do that well. But let's go Fnatic. but yeah, I think team-wise pretty even. Yeah.
How can you not be hyped with a DJ Tiny? Like, okay, it's not DJ Enigma like we used to see back at, like the Manila Major or whatever it was. It's going to be the Jabs Enigma here. But we'll see how they do as game one's underway. Fnatic and Secret already smoking themselves across the map for these early observer wards. Try to get a bit of intel to start off this game. That's going to be very important for them. I mean, it's also an Armel Queen of Pain. This lad over the past couple of years has absolutely proven that he is a top-tier mid, and Queen of Pain has been, one of his signatures for quite some time.
Yeah. I remember it was during the heyday of Virtus Pro, where they were like the best team in the world for a long period of time, and no one was like the best mid laner. I felt like Armel was the only mid who could actually go up against him. Armel and Sumail. Like, those were, to me, the consensus top 3 mid laners in the world when it came to, like, mechanics and crushing mid lane, because around then that's when Miracle was playing more safe lane. So he's not quite the Armel of old. I mean, I think also just mid lane in general is just not a lane where you see like the same kind of dominance. I think there's a lot more parity between all mid laners, but he's playing a Queen of Pain. He was hoping, I think, for the Primal Beast mid, which is, I think, largely why they went for the Queen of Pain. And that's the other reason why this sniper is a bit of a gotcha pick, is because Fnatic had this idea where, hey, we get Quap versus melee mid, we crush the lane, we win the game, and all of a sudden you've got Quap versus Sniper, which is not as good a lane. And Quap probably kind of loses this matchup.
Yeah, especially once we get these Wraith bands going for the Sniper, things get very challenging for you. And just thinking back to what you just said, no one, Sumail, Armel, I just couldn't help but think about Storm Spirit and where that hero is at the moment, because all 3 of them back in their heyday were exceptional Storm players from the mid laners, and one of the key elements for them.
Don't worry, Storm will make an appearance. EG, let me tell you, they're 6-0. They're one loss away from first picking Storm Spirit for the rest of TI. All it's going to take is one loss, and they're first picking Storm for the rest of the tournament. So Storm will come. We'll see it.
Bulba just dumps 1,000 pages of draft notes, and he's like, this is the only page we need.
Panic.
Storm Spirit first pick.
Yep. But yep, EG, great stuff for them. But right now, Secret and Fnatic.
What's Jabs doing?
Lane swaps, it looks like.
Okay.
So you look at Secret. Their cores are kind of chilling in the jungle too. Looks like supports are getting lanes. DJ's like, sweet, I'm a tiny, let's play core now.
I'm going to tell you, gods, Jabs is not lane swapping. Jabs is jungling.
Oh, level 1 jungle. Even better. So
hell yes.
This is the one thing I've been saying for a while. I'm like, Ice Rogue, please, bring back junglers. Level 1, like Chen and Ench, they're no longer jungles. That's like, to me, such a classic, quintessential part of Dota history is just having junglers. And Ice Rogue's like, nah, we don't have that anymore.
As long as Legion Commander doesn't make a comeback in that arena, I'm fine.
No Iron Talon.
No Iron Talon, yeah. But I fully agree. I miss the days of Enigma, Chen, and Chantress. Even like, you think back to Puppey, he pioneered a lot of these Storm Spirit or Shadow Demon, smoke jungling, all these little tricks you could do. Jungling was a fun little part of the game. As, Crystal is taking a lot of damage down bottom. 3 heroes going to come in. Think about diving. The Crystal Nova slows him down. He pops his stick. 50 HP remaining. Raven giving chase. The roll will connect from Zayat. Holding back Raven, but the Blood Right. Crystal is trying to dodge it. Gets a bit of distance. Turns on the Raven, but first blood is there for Zhao. Raven going to get himself away from Puppey. An Impetus shot is coming, and a kick from Zayat. Takes down the Bloodseeker in that 1-for-1 trade, and Jabs a little stuck under the tier 1 now. But Zayat's with a missed roll, and Zhao coming back in with a mango to cast some more spells. Might be able to do a bit more damage here to Zayat with his Eidolons, still pumping the right clicks into Puppey. And that Frostbite's there. Hold back the Ench. A close fought battle. Who came out on top?
I don't know. It didn't feel great for FANATIC. I mean, they get the first blood, so I think that evens it up a bit, but they committed way too hard, used a ton of regen, missed a few spells along the way, and it just took way more effort than they had hoped for to kill Crystallis there. So I'd say it didn't feel like a good move, but first blood gold just making it a bit more even. So let's just say no one. It was a trade.
An even trade. I mean, do we get our lane set up as they want now? No more jungling Enigma?
Oh, poor Tiny. DJ's like, man, I was having such a good time. 13 last hits, and now he has to give up his lane for a core. Sad days.
So what were they trying to avoid, or who was trying to avoid what? The kickback?
Yeah.
Zayat. He's level 3 on this Earth Spirit, so he was able to get it on top of the Maiden and unlock this Puppey, the carry Enchantress, playing from this bottom lane.
Yeah, I think it's... So they really wanted this, like... for FANATIC, they want this safe lane Bloodseeker versus the Primal Beast, and Secret are trying to get the Viper versus the Bloodseeker. You can see the lane swap happening now. Crystallis is walking top to meet the Bloodseeker lane. And that's why you had... Enigma wasn't... Like, the plan wasn't to jungle. It was very much just like, let's make sure we get the good lane, so I'm going to start in the jungle. And giving Tiny some early farm in CS isn't bad. Like, DJ getting a super fast blink or maybe phase boots he's got queued up could really help him get off to a good start.
I sure could. And Crystal is still level 1. Needs a bit more experience here, and DJ, he's going to spot him, but Resolution nearby, and Zhao coming forward as well. The level 1 Viper are going to get beaten down by FANATIC, and they're going to go for the Primal Beast as well. Onslaught gives him the distance he needs, though, away from what is now effectively another tri-lane from FANATIC top.
Oh. FANATIC just making sure Raven has a good time on this Bloodseeker, chasing around some of these easy-to-kill cores like the Viper. Crystallis is, yeah, he's bottom 2 when it comes to... last in CS and bottom 2 net worth. That is sad times.
Not ideal for him, but I guess he can look into the mid lane, and Nisha's saying everything's fine. Don't worry, Crystallis. I'm a sniper. I'm 24 and 12 in this lane 5 minutes in.
Yeah, that's the thing with Secret. We touched upon it a bit during the pre-show, is like Crystallis is not really played as the carry for this team. Like, we've had games where Rezo's playing Moran and stuff, and more often than not, it's Nisha in the mid lane playing these more kind of scaling heroes. So this is kind of, at least on some level, typical for Secret.
Armel back to Fountain, while down at bottom, Jabs with a Centaur Stomp here. Gets the Malefice in onto Crystallis and tries to dip into the trees with DJ's arrival. They turn back on Puppey, and a 5.5 minute rotation from the mid lane. They're actually now looking for Crystallis, a bonus kill potentially for Armel, as DJ does have a toss, looking for the Viper and finds him. Throws him back into the Queen of Pain, and this level 2 Viper, not able to withstand the damage, just stands his grounds, accepts his fate. And FANATIC, tri-lane bot into tri-lane top, into tri-lane bot again, while top lane, Zhao is a little isolated now. Zayat and Resolution pairing up to kill the Crystal Maiden. Just kill after kill in both of these side lanes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bloodbath when it comes to, for Secret, hunting down and killing the CM a couple times, but for FANATIC, it's killing the Viper. 0-3 now. Crystallis, like, you're shutting down an enemy core. It just feels like FANATIC are in a much better position because of this exchange.
And now they're playing with this catapult bottom. They are diving tower again. Seeing Puppey in the tree line, the toss across, Armel trying to grab Crystallis as well. Secret coming to try and fight this, but Armel's already blinked out there. Jabs with a TP. He missed the roll, but the damage is good. Secret get the takedown on the Enigma. FANATIC really aggressively diving towers, and Armel a part of everything.
Yep. The fact he rotated gank bottom and then stayed bottom. He didn't go back mid. They gave the lane to Chanuel's CM. Like, all the FANATIC supports are getting so much in terms of early levels in CS. Like, both CM and Tiny are level 4, almost level 5 on Tiny.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, again, the upside is this sniper with double Wraith bands. Has treads as well. Good blink away from Armel. Gets out of the reach of Zayat's roll.
Is under attack.
But also, I think Raven having a decent time top now as he was left alone.
Yeah. He's been given a free farm lane, essentially. playing against just the Primal Beast. This is the lane he wanted from the start and why things were so wacky. It's a pretty much a lane where he's going to go uncontested. But Secret, you know, this game's gone fine for them. I mean, I talk about the support levels. Puppy, level 5.5, so he's got treads already, and he's leveling up Impetus. He's already looking like he's, you know, going to be scaling into a kind of semi-core here with more net worth than his Viper. So Puppy, I think, happy to play Dota this way.
I mean, what happens to the Viper if he's meant to be win the lane, lose the game? What happens if you lose the lane? Do you win the game?
Let's hope so. I support Viper. Yeah, you know, they're losing this lane, but they're not losing all the lanes. I think that's the big thing. Another toss back bottom, though. And once again, it's Armel here, ready to find another kill. He's got Sonic Wave if he needs it.
He's going to throw it. Just kill him off. Go on. Chuck it at Chrysalis. Does pop his magic wand, but it's not to be. Another death. 4 on the board now for this Viper. As Armel 3-0-1 on the Queen of Pain. And really making things work and leaving that mid lane where he was suffering. And oh, looking at the mid lane, actually. The Rupture comes. Raven hits level 6 and rotates in. Aggressive play in on Tanisha, but Resolution with the onslaught. Nah, not enough space for him. Will get on top of DJ here with a trample, but he's held back by the Malefice. Frostpoint now comes, and Resolution's gone too deep. Jabs has the black hole to hold him in place, while Puppy skirting the edges of this fight and trying to chip away at Jabs, but trapped in the frostbite and dead. The Hellbear, though. Tomato comes in and slaps down Jabs at the end.
Oh,
Secret losing 3, though.
Great fight. The high ground black hole, and Puppy a little unlucky. Actually had an Impetus miss from the low ground, or that would have been a much quicker and easier kill on the Enigma. But that's partly why Jabs was playing on that high ground, and as a result, yeah, massive fight. They do that without the Queen of Pain, who's kind of being their big rotating playmaker. We'll see it all again here. Just a great rotation, great use of this early Rupture, knowing that there's no way for Sniper to TP out with the CM there.
Yeah, that pushes Raven now right up at the top of the net worth. 4,200 for him. Sniper was looking like he'd be the king of this game, but getting taken down a notch there as FANATIC really kicking it into 5th gear, breaking down his... There wasn't really a laning stage, was there, gods? They broke down the lane stage 3 minutes in.
CM mid gonna get picked off with a nice rotation from Zayats, but yeah, this has just felt like constant action and movement all around these different lanes. Secret going to kind of strike first when it comes to these objectives with the Puppy Ench. Taking a tier 1 tower, something he's always so good at doing on Ench, is just pressuring early objectives, just sending a creep there, plus some extra right clicks, and making it hard for teams to play the map when you've got to constantly defend these towers.
Yeah, cutting across into the Ancients area, while DJ went bottom jungle. Found out by Zayats and Nisha here, though. I'll try the Avalanche TP home, but I think the damage from the snipe... Oh, no, it wasn't enough.
Yeah. Throughout the avalanche, so that he knew Nisha couldn't assassinate. Like, he avalanched to TP. He didn't actually have assassinate, not something that DJ was aware of, but just really heads up play from him. He's, by the way, super far. Phase boots already. He's about to hit level 7, so likely goes for the fast blink dagger.
They're gonna have some incredible item timings on some of these heroes. And there is DJ. I mean, yeah, look at that slow motion replay.
Was that
18 HP? I'm not too sure, but they're rolling into mid.
Nope.
Onslaught and trample on the Queen of Pain, who is silenced up. Armel turning, has the Sonic Wave to push and kill Resolution, while the Rupture on Zayat allows Raven to get the bonus kill. Another 2 down on the side of Secret, as FANATIC defending their mid lane and rallying around Raven to fight back.
Yeah. And honestly, just love the kind of aggression we're seeing from this FANATIC team. 11 kills in 11 minutes. You know, Armel's co-op has just been active all over the map. Oh, see there? Yeah. Yeah, the TP out from before, it looked like it wasn't a miss, but what a move from FANATIC, just to constantly take these fights and utilize this Queen of Pain in a way where she's kind of just this big playmaker, not looking to farm. They're just looking to really enable Raven to get all the space in the world to just continue getting his creeps.
And it's got to be a sick game as Raven on this Bloodseeker, because there is so much action, there are so many low HP heroes, and the part of the reason he was able to come into that mid lane to rupture the sniper 6-7 minutes in was because everyone is such low HP, everyone's being run at constantly. Another roll, guarding bottom rune, Zayat and Puppy make sure that the Queen of Pain does not get the arcane.
Yeah, it feels good to have Bloodseeker in these games where there's just constant brawling and skirmishing. TP top from Zayat, he's still got the arcane rune, and He's trying to maybe find DJ here, who's been given a lot of room to just keep on farming. They've got to know and expect that this tiny Blink Dagger will be coming up pretty early on.
Yeah, then you have jabs down bottom, breaking the trees, shoving that bottom wave. And Crystallis has been having a happy time for the past couple of minutes after going 0-4, has been left alone for the most part. So now up to level 7, Falcon Blade done. He can farm jungle a little bit, but he'll have to leave that bottom tower to die.
Yeah. Speaking of happy times, Puppy was just 3rd in net worth. He just dropped from 3rd to 4th in net worth, but that's a farm dash.
Good sidestep from DJ. Means the roll misses, and the freezing
big
field from
CMO.
Zhao.
Oh.
There's no stun until the roll comes, but now it's allowed Armel to come in with Raven, kill off Zayat and Resolution, chase back onto Puppy as well. DJ will die, but I think it's all fine in the end. The trade will go FANATIC's way. And the Sonic Wave, the final touch from Raven, gets him the triple kill.
Oh, the CM hiding in the trees. What an ulti, that freezing field. They just walked into an absolute slaughter there as 2 melee heroes on top of a CM freezing field, and by the time they cancel it, they're just already done and dusted, and a massive team fight and cleanup going the way of FANATIC there, and all of it going Raven's way, so a very happy carry. As we'll see it all again here, the CM just teeping in at the perfect time and place.
Yeah, you can almost hear DJ's comms, right? I've dodged the stun, I've dodged the roll, they've cast all their stuns, and Zhao just comes in with a massive freezing field as DJ, he's all over the place here, and in a good way, tossing back Zayat, enabling these FANATIC heroes to get the kills, and now a frostbite on the sniper, allowing Armel and Raven again, the 2 cores, coming in to pile on the sniper and kill off Nisha.
Yeah. Armel gets low, but not really any danger to himself. The Tiny even almost lives there. He almost sidestepped the shrapnel at the very end, but just couldn't quite get out of range, so big kills going the way of FANATIC. Like, killing the sniper he's the #1 target this game. He's the hero that you're most worried about when it comes to, this game dragging on, and, it will drag on. FANATIC don't have a good way to really push the tempo too much outside of the Enigma, so they want to kind of gear up and get some good late game going themselves.
Yeah, it feels like the BKB on that Bloodseeker and Queen of Pain going as Kai Sanj there. They're looking to hit that timing kind of 20 minutes in, where they can take some bigger team fights. Think about Roshan, which will give them the security to go for these objectives. And DJ, 500 gold from his blink, should synchronize pretty nicely with that as well. We've already seen how well he can do. 12 out of the 16 kills he's been involved in. And DJ having a spectacular time on his Tiny.
Yeah. Both these FANATIC supports are just, they're in all the action. They're just, wherever the fighting goes, they're going there too. And it's been really impressive to watch FANATIC play
Another sick freezing field from the trees.
Yeah. Even better than the last. He got some creeps.
Hell yeah.
Puppy did manage to swoop in and seal the center, though. Take that one away from poor Zhao.
Nice. Secret have got to do something about this bottom lane. Well, rolling in.
Got the toss, though.
A little pig pole action from Tiny. Zayat, Sonic waved. After his roll, he's connected on DJ, so Enchantress will get the kill. And a good Centaur stomp there. Attempted Illusion Rune dodge from Armel, but now the rupture with the Bloodseeker coming in from the back. They go straight for the Silencer, and a Sniper, sorry, is Nisha getting right-clicked down by Raven. Puppy now trapped on the high ground, surrounded by FANATIC, and there's Crystal Maiden to help out Raven get another double kill. 8-1 and 4 on this Bloodseeker as they charge in towards mid-tier 1.
Yeah, any fight, FANATIC's just like, let's collapse, let's bring everybody. 5-men show in the mid lane. It looked like Puppy was going to carry that fight for a second. He was doing so much impetus damage onto multiple heroes. Same for the Sniper, just dishing out almost 3,000 damage as well. But FANATIC just kiting perfectly, playing the outskirts of the fights with heroes like the CM and the Tiny. The CM living on a sliver of health and coming back in to throw extra Novas and Frostbites, and they just outlast Team Secret once again.
Yeah, and it feels like Armel and Raven are coming in at the exact right times. They're, like you said it, you called it at the start, they've kind of baited these rolls in or the onslaughts aggressively, and this allows them to see where the Sniper is. They're waiting for Nisha to show before that Bloodseeker or Queen of Pain really make an appearance in these fights.
Yeah, they'll take these 5v4s any day of the week, and 19 kills to 9. This game's still far from over. I mean, I kind of touched upon like the general strategy for Secret, which I don't think has really been what they've actually done. Is, if this game goes long enough, they've got Sniper. They should outscale, they should outcarry, and picking Sniper to guarantee it goes late game. So if this game kind of slows down, and as long as Secret aren't too far behind, I think particularly you're going to compare the Sniper's net worth to the Bloodseekers, which right now is maybe not a pretty sight. But if Sniper, catches up a bit, they've got the late game with this Sniper pick, I feel.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again, all it takes is one team fight, one, sloppy mistake or execution error, and all of a sudden that 3K gap becomes nothing. Absolutely weighs in for Secret.
There's a bottom.
Ruptured. Malefice on him as well, and Tiny with a combo, catching out the Enchantress. Puppy thrown into the freezing field.
He's living though.
Pretty tanky. He's got a cloak, fluffy hat, dragon lance. You can't kill this Ench. Got all the farm in the world. So Zayas rolls back in with the onslaught trample. Rezo aiming Enigma. The black hole's not coming. Doesn't get it off in time, but Raven and Armel yet again. Right place, right time to strike back. But Enchantress and Viper close the gap onto DJ, take him down. Losing the Primal Beast and Earth Spirit for a tiny Enigma is a pretty dead even trade, but Secret come out on top in terms of gold and XP change.
Yeah. Armel did manage to just barely get the cleanup kill at the end on the Zayat's Earth Spirit, so that kind of made it a bit more even, but a great hold from Secret. They managed to just kind of bait Fnatic in a bit there. The initial kind of spell usage on the Primal Beast ends up kind of biting Fnatic in the ass there a bit. They kind of commit the Rupture and multiple spells, and they don't actually finish him off, so they pay the price for it. But if they get Puppy here again, I mean, this is the problem. Puppy's so damn tanky. This is how they lost the last fight, is by thinking they can kill Puppy. I think they got a bit unlucky with the freezing field. It's a bit kind of RNG with the random ice explosions. Kind of,
yes.
If they don't land, then all of a sudden you're like, hey, this hero was next to me and took like, almost no damage. So I think they did get a bit unlucky there, but at the same time, Puppy's also just super tanky. 1500 health, Strength Treads, Dragon Lance, and Glimmer Cape.
Oh, he's finished the Glimmer already. Yeah, that's a good point. He got tossed into the Maiden. I think he only took one freezing field hit. A little unfortunate for Zhao, but I'll see where this goes now as Secret. They've smoked across to Roche. It looked like they were angling top to play into the Enigma, but they're going to go straight for Roshan. Chrysalis, what, Dragon Lance? Puppy just tanking it.
Well, Puppy showing that he's the real core of this team alongside Nisha.
Well, yeah, they've got
can't quite kill it fast enough.
You look at the packs of net worth, right? You got Bloodseeker at the top, he's number one. Then you got this 3 of Sniper, Quap, Enigma. Then you got another 3 of Primal Beast, Ench, and the Viper there.
Yeah.
All very tight together. It looks like they give up on Roche for now, though. Half health and pinged down by FANATIC. And DJ scouting inside the pit. As they also did get a good D-ward FANATIC, remove that high ground observer that Secret had not too long ago.
One of the things to kind of also keep in mind as this game goes on, no easy, reliable way to stop a BKB black hole from jabs. He's gone for the Aether Lens for now after the Wraith Pack, but I've got to imagine that we're going to be seeing Blink Dagger, BKB as maybe follow-up items to this, and that's something that Secret are going to struggle to answer.
Now, take a bit of time, though. And FANATIC, the first point of contact, the Enchantress, it's Puppy again. They will have the DJ Avatos combo, and this time they have enough damage with 5 heroes surrounding the Bambi. That's what it takes.
Yeah. Secret were smoked heading that way, but with Puppy down, I'm not sure they want to take this fight. FANATIC didn't really commit too much. It's just the, standard Avatos type spell, so they're already back up, and FANATIC will more than happily maybe take this fight. It is annoying. Pushing into Shrapnel, Nether Toxin, there's all this kind of AoE wave clear that can be used pretty much without committing, any hero's bodies whatsoever. So it's very easy for Secret to kind of delay things and keep these towers alive.
And you can see them not wanting to really initiate, though. Armel with this Kaya Sanj is incredibly tanky. Heading into BKB next, it's going to be a challenge to kill off the Queen of Pain or Bloodseeker, who has already had his BKB for a while and just got the Mjolnir delivered.
The big thing is just surviving like a BKB pulverized from Primal Beast. That's something which is going to be what Secret want to kind of build their team fight around. Have Primal Beast go in, catch one, and Sniper just pew them down. Right now, FANATIC just kind of playing these side lanes, hunting for kills. They're not really grouping as 5. They don't want to play too inefficiently. They want to make sure that they keep on scaling and getting as much farm on the map as possible.
And Queen of Pain, pretty adept at just clearing out this more dangerous area of farm down bottom. A little bit of vision here from FANATIC in the lane, but none in the jungle, where Secret have swept through, de-warded, and have 3 observers of their own watching around their bottom outpost. So it feels like that's where Secret maybe aiming to play around, even though it's 22 minutes in, and we again have to start thinking about Roshan in the next few.
FANATIC right now are just playing the map really well. They have like multiple heroes, 2 heroes mid, 2 heroes bottom, and then they had like Enigma solo pushing top with Eidolon, so you're not really Enigma's alone, but isn't showing. It's just the Eidolons pushing this lane, and also he's microing them. He sent one to scout Roshan to make sure that Secret's not in the Roshan pit. So just honestly very great micro and kind of map awareness coming in from Jabs.
Yeah, controlling multiple zones on the map at the same time. FANATIC are going to bring numbers top though. TPing DJ.
Jabs. They know he's up here alone. It's very frustrating to play against this Enigma who just like solo pushes a lane.
They know he's nearby. They'll see the aura on the Eidolons if they clicked it.
Found him.
They were pinging it, and there's the roll onslaught in. The rest of FANATIC were heading into the triangle. So Jab's dead top. But this might be a good spot here for FANATIC if they hold this high ground plateau and Secret come back up towards them. They've got so much damage to throw in.
Yep. There's no Secret vision of this area. I don't think Secret know where FANATIC are, and they may just get jumped to the Roshan pit. There is a buyback on Enigma too. Can TP to the outpost here. Tiny tree volley. They've kind of revealed their position here, but at the same time, they've scouted out Team Secret.
And now Secret a little afraid.
Be alone. He's charging in with the heal. He's trying to bait with his buyback.
He knows how tanky he is, but there's a lot of damage from FANATIC. Not enough to finish him off, though. Puppy's still alive. The Sonic Wave required. And FANATIC, yes, they get the kill on the Ench, but they lose their maiden, and now they're on the run. The roll in from Zayats, finding the Queen of Pain, and Secret, they defend their half of the map.
That was so cool from Puppy. He's absolute Chad mode, just chucks his heal on and runs up blindly onto a high ground. I thought he had buyback. He was 30 gold short, so even willing to make that play with no buyback, because he's like, okay, it's a 5v4. We have no vision. I'm going to go give vision and set up my team to, you know, basically win this fight. Even though he throws away his own life there, he's the reason that FANATIC are able to, are getting caught out there and losing the Queen of Pain.
Nisha, how much gold did Nisha just get? 1,000? That Queen of Pain had a massive streak.
Oh my. Yeah. That was a beyond godlike streak. Okay.
Yeah, Queen of Pain unkilled until that moment. She got BKB combined after she died, so, you know, back in Fountain, finished the item. Maybe a bit of unfortunate timing there for FANATIC. If they'd been able to get that to her before the fight happened, maybe a different outcome. But Secret starting to feel themselves again around this Roche. And they know they can head into the pit once more, force FANATIC to fight around it.
Don't think FANATIC have any smokes left, though. They're just walking on over. Neither support with a smoke in hand, and they've just got to charge in at some point and maybe send some Eidolons out for vision, but Jabs isn't quite there yet. And Roche is incredibly low.
He's
dead. Too late, yep.
Nisha takes the Aegis, and DJ, a 3-man avalanche leads into nothing. Secret going to turn around and get on top of the Tiny. He's absolutely dead. Raven.
Tried to get a toss back. Raven just has to BKB TP.
He has to.
Ooh.
Didn't want to. Needs must, though. That's a bit of a tragedy for FANATIC. Can't contest Roche, waste the BKB, lose a Tiny. And now Secret with all the space in the world. You see how forward that Zayats and Puppy get to play now. D-Ward and take control of the map.
Just super heads-up play from Secret to
Zayats?
force that Roshan. Yeah. He's everywhere. He's not done. He's
found it. Hey, lands the second roll. And the rest of Secret, they are coming slowly but surely, trying to filter on forward to connect in with this. As Jabs, he solo Black Hole's the Earth Spirit, but that's just not worth it whatsoever. Queen of Pain's gonna Sonic Wave, but again, just Zayat is not dead. Earn charges, heals from Ench, Glimmer Cave, and Holy Locket from Puppy. Tons of heals and sustain from Secret. Keep them alive.
Yeah, and for FANATIC, you're thinking, oh crap, we have no ultis now. No Black Hole, no Sonic Wave, and they have Aegis. They cannot fight for the next 2 minutes. There's nothing I feel like FANATIC can really do here except play keep away. And Armel's going to TP mid right into multiple Secret heroes here. If you're Secret, you're thinking, let's just keep on hunting. Let's try to see what more we can find. A Crystal Maiden up top should be easy pickings for them. As Zayats is going to be looking to set up another kill.
Yeah, we were talking about DJ's impact. And 14 out of 16 earlier on. Zayat, similar story. Getting in there with resolution. 15 out of the 17 kills here have been due to Zayat and his rotations.
His Earth Spirit, much like his Nyx Assassin, just the one setting up so many kills for this Secret team, and now Secret have free reign over the map with Aegis in hand. They're just going to push all these outer towers, take the tier 2 top.
I just realized I've not said a single word about Viper, his spells, or Chrysalis. I've not said his name in 10 minutes. What's he up to?
There's a Viper in this game?
Yeah.
Really, Gareth? You sure?
I see it with my own eyes. He's got a BKB even.
He's online.
He's
there
ready.
we go. He's back. Yeah, no, this is not Flame for Chrysalis. This is just being the way this game. Sometimes games just go a direction where one player just doesn't get to play Dota, but the other four do. And you know, Chrysalis is finally at a point where he can, you know, contribute.
Play some Dota 2, cast some spells, and have some fun. Yeah, even though I don't know, in my head, Secret here, they've got a good grasp on this game, but FANATIC are the ones with the net worth lead. Is this still a good indication of them scaling around this Enigma? Or do you think the fact that Sniper is so big now that Secret are looking good?
Yeah, from my perspective, they're definitely at a disadvantage, like just going into late game. I think the Sniper does well against Enigma, even though they don't have a reliable answer to the BKB Black Hole. I think it's just very hard to ever get Black Hole on Sniper because of his range. So, and if you Black Hole someone else, Sniper is just going to Mask of Madness right-click you down, and Enigma's going to basically die during the Black Hole. So, I do feel like the Sniper is kind of the X factor of this game. But Blink Bloodseeker, he's itemizing on top of Sniper. They do have, you know, they're trying to find ways to deal with Sniper and get on top of him. It's just, it's hard. Like, Secret have, to me, a 60-40 edge moving forward.
Okay. And they've even got Tiny building into Aghanim Scepter. DJ looking to scale hardcore.
I mean, that's definitely, I feel like that's one of the kind of things that often you look at games like this and just kind of think about like how late game goes, but scaling supports is going to be a big part of this specific game. Like, Ench has almost 10k net worth. The Tiny you mentioned almost has an Ag Scepter, sitting on 7.5k net worth. We're only 30 minutes in, so super rich supports are going to be impacting this game way more than they normally would in terms of actually being carries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And FANATIC just keeping that bottom lane pushed in for now. And try and contend with that mid-wave push with Queen of Pain just blinking and screaming. Well, this is absolutely Secret, planting themselves in the top third of the map, making sure to cut out mid and top waves, using the remaining seconds of this Aegis just to try and outfarm their opponents across multiple lanes, whereas FANATIC kind of heavily grouped in that bottom jungle, getting what they can. And now TPing back. There's a long lane to shove out here, down bottom.
Yeah, and I think for Fnatic, this is kind of what you wanted, just to not have too much action during the Aegis timer. They didn't really want to fight into it. Not to mention, as earlier, their cooldowns, they were missing their black hole and things, and they're probably thinking like, let's try and play around our like some of these late game timings, the blink black hole a bit more now. Up until now, they've not really been trying to play around black hole, but I think it's time that they start thinking of it as more as their kind of win condition for team fights.
And
they see Nisha alone. Yeah,
they saw Nisha on the ward, on the outpost. They blow him up. Destroyed. No one from Secret anywhere nearby to help him. And Zayas with Chrysalis, they've got to smoke and try and run away.
I mean, they saw him on the ward, but also he just kind of solo tries to take an outpost. That was
very risky.
Got a black hole for Viper.
Thinking about it. Might have to with the BKB up. Raven, DJ to come back in. They've got the right clicks and the Sonic Wave to secure it.
He went for a BKB TP. I guess they black hole there, but because I think Viper, knowing that, doesn't want to go for a BKB TP. Probably worth it just to force black hole out. But either way, Fnatic fight 2 back-to-back core kills. And that's a really nice find. Like showing, I mean, I don't think that's really showing they have an answer to Sniper. I think that's just like a great smoke move from them where they catch him out. But curious to see how things go from here for Fnatic.
Yeah, I'm curious. Did you see if Puppey had the gem before they swept through bottom jungle, or has he just picked it up now?
I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like maybe they could have dewarded their jungle before, because there was a pack of 3 in like the bottom right corner, whereas Sniper was at the outpost. And maybe that Observer Ward's going to get cleared out now by Puppey's Enchantress, I'd assume.
See both teams probably start looking to set up around this Roshan pit. Radiant Sentries have already dewarded most of the area. But both teams know Roshan is going to be the next key objective for this game.
Yeah, and BKB not far away from Enigma. Very curious to see what that timer on Roche is and whether or not Jabs has the time he needs to finish off that key item you were mentioning. There's no way to cancel the big black hole with a BKB up for him. He's getting closer and closer to it. And he's just such a nuisance.
Yeah.
Eidolon's the ghost push, the phantom push, whatever it is, just shoving Wave and Enigma hiding in the trees. And Secret paying it no mind though, playing top.
It just doesn't feel like, okay, they'll TP someone back now to like push the lane, but it's definitely not worth like trying to hunt the Enigma. I mean, they made it work once in the top lane, but that's because it was in the top lane in an area of the map they want to play in. If Secret don't want to come down bottom, but with multiple heroes when Roche is respawning soon, you kind of just have to let Jabs keep on solo pushing this lane because you're just wasting time. And there's a chance, hey, he's positioned on a ward, he pops your smoke, blinks away, and gets out. So if you send multiple heroes bottom and don't kill him, you're wasting so much time.
And there we have it. Puppey gets the Observer Ward at long last.
Okay.
While Zayat's deep behind enemy lines, TP's back to rejoin his team.
And Enigma has BKB, so FANATIC are well set up for this next Roshan in a minute's time.
And Zhao buying the smoke. That's what's going to give them the edge. And Raven... sorry, Armel. He's got fanatic.armel.raven. So I look at the Queen of Pain. I was like, yeah, Raven. Nope. Nope, that's Armel.
Yeah.
He's got a DD rune, but that will unfortunately likely expire before the Roshan fight really begins.
Wait, touch upon Rezo and his TI performances. Raven's been another guy who has gone beast mode at multiple TIs.
Puppey.
That's why Armel's paying respect to him, and yeah, they are looking to counterplay this one, and she'll buy a lot of time.
And Zayat with his BKB just rolling from one target to another. A nice tree volley there and a sonic wave, but Puppey's still alive. They've expended a lot while Zayat's ruptured and killed by this big Bloodseeker of Raven. 30 seconds for Roche as Secret, another BKB, this time from the Viper.
Jabs BKB.
Jabs with a blink, looking
He's
for the
looking
black
for
hole.
Sniper.
He was aiming for it, but he'll just have to black hole the Viper instead.
Yeah.
Kill off what remnants of Secret are left, and Rezo with a BKB TP does allow him to escape from the scenario. But 10 seconds for Roche gives FANATIC a great opportunity here to secure this portion of the mid game.
I mean, Puppey just buys so much time staying alive, but ultimately, like, Secret just don't have the numbers or formation to win the fight, regardless of how much damage Puppey was soaking up there. They just weren't ready. Like, they had 3 heroes there, and, you know, I think Nisha does all he can. Like, he positions so far back because he knows this Enigma's looking for a BKB black hole. I think both Jabs as well as Nisha played that team fight pretty perfectly. Jabs is just waiting, looking for Sniper, and he catches a glimpse of where he is in the trees, like, blinks forward looking for him, but Nisha almost sees it coming and kind of counterplays it. But the end result is Sniper does 0 damage in the fight because he can't come near without getting black hole. So the threat of the black hole we kind of talk about is sometimes better than the black hole itself, and that is kind of how that fight went down. The black hole ended up not really doing a whole lot.
Yeah, you could see in the replay there is Januel gonna get pummeled down. But the fact that Jabs basically just put out Wraith Pact and hid on this dire side of the river in the mid lane for a good 20-30 seconds, just waiting. He could have had, 2-3-man black hole onto the Earth Spirit, Ench, Primal Beast, but he says nope. Like you said, just looking for the sniper. That's his job.
Yep.
Oh, top lane. Rezo looking for a move in onto DJ, but he's got the Ogre Seal Totem to flop back into the tree line. And Zayat is going to miss a couple of spells, but Rezo, he can't miss the Pulverize. Decent range on that initiation, and allows Nisha to open up, get the Tiny in his sights. Raven, Armel, they've jumped in onto Crystallis, forced the Viper to BKB early on. He tries to pop his one to survive, but a Sonic Wave comes in to allow Raven to clear through the Viper. And a beyond godlike Bloodseeker now, 11, 1, and 10 for Raven.
I love how after they just ignore Puppey, they're like, yeah, we hit him with Sonic Wave, but we ain't killing him. Like, this Ench is untouchable.
You may live, just please, go away.
But yeah, they trade cores. I mean, I say cores. Tiny kind of feels like a core, but he's not really a core. I think for FANATIC, they're the ones playing with Aegis, but they got to be a little bit careful because Secret's making another smoke move. They're bringing Nisha in once again, knowing that some of these big ultimates are down. Raven, he's got Aegis here, but surrounded by 3 heroes.
Yeah, he blinked into the trees, but this lane ward about to expire has given Secret all the vision in the world to take the Aegis down. And Jabs, with no black hole for 20 seconds, has popped his BKB to try and live. Rezo chases Raven back. Jabs dies in the right-hand tree line, and the dive on the tower kills off Raven. Rezo solos him. 100-0 in a matter of seconds, and onslaughting back across to the Maiden. Find out Janwell, and this time it's Secret to come in. Sweep through, get 3 massive kills.
Oh, they're just honestly so quick with that smoke. And catching FANATIC with this like tiny window. It was 10 seconds until Black Hole was coming back up. They knew Sonic Wave had been used mid as well. They knew Rupture was also on cooldown. So this very small window where FANATIC weren't ready to fight, didn't have ultis, and they catch them. They just go charging at a Bloodseeker with an Aegis, knowing that we can just kill him twice, force FANATIC to respond to it, and Enigma responding like without a Black Hole. They were just not afraid of that Enigma.
No fear whatsoever. And Rezo, he's an absolute beast. Tanking up tier 3. Kaya San's done, and a blink dagger. If he spots a hero, he's jumping on them. And this looks like a lane of barracks for Secret. Nisha from the low ground just plinking away at the melee. Could even go finish the range if they want to.
Zero interest in defending on the FANATIC side. Just the one lane of racks at this stage of the game, something that they can deal pretty well with. But the big issue is like this Secret. We talked about some of the late game strength of their lineup with the sniper.
Rezo. He's forced the BKB. Sorry, that looked a little more interesting than it was in the end.
Yeah, we're gonna see FANATIC just gear up to play some late game Dota here. The Jabs Enigma is the player to look for in all these fights with that Black Hole, and anytime they don't have Black Hole, I think if you're FANATIC, you're just like, I don't think you should be taking a fight.
Now, you'll have to excuse the fake hype from time to time. I mean, with where this game's going, you see someone charging in, you expect kills.
no kidding.
22-28, we're 40 minutes in. A real back and forth between these two teams, and I'm struggling to get a read on the flow of this game. There's no net worth lead, no real kill lead. What do these mid-game team fights come down? Is it just Jabs with his Black Hole, or are there smaller things, smaller details to look for?
I think it's this, there's this little battle going on between Jabs and Nisha, where Nisha just has to play really far back and hide from the Enigma. And also Jabs has to hide, like he can't afford to get caught by any of Secret's heroes. Like if Urspirit finds the Enigma, he's got BKB and he's not gonna be able to kill the Enigma, but it's all about stopping the blink. So if you just get on top of him, stop the blink, use an Urn charge on him to, make him BKB or something, all of a sudden Sniper can actually hit people. So it's this hiding game going on all around, for the most part, the Enigma. But then there's also these, there's other heroes. That's where, while all that's going on, you have heroes like Ench and Tiny who have become true carries as well.
The toss back, Puppey, the target again, but Rezo and Zayats, they've turned onto DJ. The initiation from FANATIC quickly turned on his head. And he's dead for a minute. That's quite some time now, where Secret have the 5v4.
Yeah. Every time they go on Puppey, bad things happens, it feels like. Like, there's not really been a successful fight that started, like, they maybe won some fights where they went on Puppey, but it's not because they went on Puppey. Like, he always seems to be living, they throw some spells, and it's like they're just putting these spells on cooldown. Maybe they have baited Secret in and won the fight afterwards, but fights like that one, it's just like, well, he lived on 500 health. They weren't actually that close to killing the Ench.
He's frontlining again. Scanning up to the high ground, clearing some of this dire vision, which right now is severely lacking. The map is dark outside of creep waves for FANATIC. I don't see where Secret are lurking, and from the shadows, Secret are looking to strike down bottom. Januel with a glimmer cape. Looks like he's got the distance to blink TP from the tree line. Oh no, he didn't blink. He just tried the TP naked, and Rezo Zayats, they're straight in on top of her.
He thought he had a nice little hiding spot, but it's like a pretty common hiding spot. And Urspirit knew when he rolled to the right, he didn't find him, so he kind of knew the only way he could have gone is into those trees. So definitely a scenario where, like you say, should have blinked, but pays the price. FANATIC, only a CM kill, but does mean every time like a kill happens, it feels like they're giving up ground on the map, and Secret are just pushing forward, taking more farm, and taking control of key areas where FANATIC want to be farming.
Yeah, still a minute and a half for fast spawn on Roche, so if Secret can use this dire Ancients high ground area to hold on to mid and bottom lane, kind of keep FANATIC back in their base, but more importantly, you're limiting the angles of attack. You don't want to be facing FANATIC in a choke point, as it looks like DJ Yeah, just a step too far forward. Again, being found out by Zayat's Earth Spirit. I mean, what is he now? 22 out of the 25? Like 95% kill participation from this Earth Spirit is bonkers.
Yep. That is very, very impressive. Whew.
Yeah, as long as Secret can play in, it feels like open ground. They want open water basically. A flat bit of land to team fight in. FANATIC much more opting for these choke point fights, try and find a bit of terrain on the map to play with this black hole.
They want, and more just hiding spots in general. Like when you're in these open areas, it's a lot harder to find a good pathway to get initiation, but amazing neutral line for Jabs, Ninja Gear. So he can be smoked up for any single fight. It really puts a lot more pressure on someone like Zayats to kind of roll in and try and scout him out. So this is, dream neutral item. It's kind of, I feel like Ninja Gear is this funny neutral item. Like Iceberg kind of, I don't know, thought of it as like a carry item, giving it plus 25 agi, but it never seems to be agi heroes using Ninja Gear.
And it kind of felt better when Agi gave move speed, and it was like, nice, I'm smoked, I've got move speed, but yeah. You're right, it's a bit of an odd one.
He's getting armor from it. That'll help versus the sniper, I guess.
Oh yes.
So
wonderful.
Maybe we'll say, hey, watch him live on like 100 health, all because of that armor.
Well, that's a quick Roche spawn. Dire scanning it. I don't know if it just flickered red there for a second as Nisha walked past. FANATIC gonna pay it no mind though and head down south. Again, they're not playing into vision here. It is all dark in that bottom jungle. And the first person they see is gonna be Crystallis. Januel walks into it, and Rezo is here with his BKB, not afraid to use it because he has Refresher Orb. An opportunity to launch a second attack, striking into the heart of FANATIC's aggressive line. Raven, half HP, but the black hole is there, catching out Earth Spirit as Nisha was able to get the gap. He did not get the sniper. In comes the tree volley, though, from DJ, cancelled out as they stun and catch the Tiny. Raven and Armel, they lose the Bloodseeker and buyback on him. Tiny down, though, as Secret. They are keeping themselves alive and chasing the Queen of Pain. A quick little cyclone from the Stormcrafter buys the time for the blink from Armel. Oh, the pulverize. Rezo finds the stun to get Nisha the triple kill.
The Spell Prism, the 21-second cooldown Pulverize with a Refresher Orb as well, the third Pulverize of the fight. And a fight, again, comes down so much to can you catch this sniper in Black Hole, and Nisha's positioning was just out of range. He just stood his ground. They couldn't touch the sniper. They got on top of him with like Tiny and Bloodseeker, but Nisha with Satanic and all the items he's got, he gets Rupture. He's like, okay, I'm standing still. Like, this Rupture does nothing to me. We'll see it all again here, but yeah, what a fight for Secret. He'll be rewarded with a free Aegis. Just, I mean, it starts badly, losing the CM, and Rezo just having these free initiations, the Refresher Orb being such a key timing for him and Team Secret.
Finds a haste rune as well in the middle of the team fight. I see that jabs.
This sniper just never gets below half health.
Just stands his ground, the auto turret, whacking away at people. And now we have an Aegis for Nisha, Cheese for Crystallis. And FANATIC, well, they spent a couple of buybacks for that. Raven, probably the most important one. So losing out on his timing for that Lincoln Sphere. Delaying his item progression. The scarier thing is you're losing your buildings very quickly here. Puppey, he's tanking up on the front lines. High ground shove, Nisha in behind him. And FANATIC without Black Hole don't have a great way to make a jump here.
They need refresh on this Enigma. He's got the double Perseverance, still doesn't quite have it. He's ignoring buyback as you should. 40 seconds until Black Hole. I think you just give up Lanes of Rax. You want double Black Hole for the fight. And for Jack, I feel like he needs to use his Ninja Gear to like smoke around from behind, even if he does so solo. And it's super risky. Like, you run into heroes, you may just die in feed, but you're now down 4 racks and in this kind of desperation place. I think Jabs just needs to take some chances when it comes to trying to catch this sniper on the back lines.
Drastic measures needed.
Yep.
Especially if Nisha gets his hand on this DD rune that spawned down bottom. Zayats, it looks like he's going to scout it out in a sec. No, I don't see it. Secret opting to just keep on pushing out these waves. Keep FANATIC hemmed back in their base. I mean, Rezo now with Refresher Shard and Refresher Orb. Multiple BKBs. So many forms of initiation. He has been a nuisance this game.
Yep. It's a farmed up Primal Beast, level 27 as well, so Pulverized Piercing Magic Immunity just making his game even easier.
Man, everyone's buying Refresher Orbs. Bloodseeker's got one. You mentioned the Enigma, very close to his, can now buy the recipe.
All the nerfs in the world in this item still is the item that late game Dota has played around. You know, it's nice that the item isn't quite what it used to be and has that big mana cost and all that, but we'll see if these refreshes are going to be what takes Secret over the finish line with the Primal Beast, or if Enigma finds a way to get off these double black holes.
And just look at the chat wheels there, the pings, right? It's exactly what you've been talking about. DJ saying, hey, Earth Spirit's missing, look out for Syads, watch out for him. Secret thinking about the Enigma. Yeah, Enigma's missing, be careful.
And I just feel like seeing where Jabs is positioned now, like just sitting behind this tower smoked up, it's kind of like the predictable place to be. I mean, at the same time, Secret aren't pushing high ground, but I think when a fight's happening, he needs to be like looping around to the left, he needs to find some kind of entry pathway that's just a little bit unorthodox, because right now it just feels like everything he's doing is a bit too telegraphed.
Yeah, it kind of feels like with no buyback on Enigma or the Bloodseeker, that it's down to Armel to kind of blink in, you know, overzealously almost.
Yeah.
Play hyper aggressive, then use his buyback as that kind of dogpile mechanism where Secret have jumped the quap and open up a black hole opportunity for Jabs.
Yeah, I love the idea. I think that's baiting with buybacks is so crucial for late game Dota, and I think Armel, yeah, definitely the perfect hero to do it with. I guess Bloodseeker, once his buybacks back up, can kind of do the same, but Pop just feels like a more natural hero to kind of charge forward. I guess the big problem is you just get pulverized by this Primal Beast, and you don't really have the most reliable of saves against that.
Well, they caught a glimpse of Jabs, and DJ, the Tiny, he went straight on in towards Nisha, but he's just being annihilated. Has buyback on the Tiny, and he's going to have to spend it. This final lane of Barracks, Secret, they're chipping away at it. And a move has to be made. Armel makes the jump, gets back to high ground. They're trying to bait Secret a little bit deeper here before making the jump.
FANATIC just want to tick away at this Aegis. Killing the sniper twice, getting double black hole off is just so hard to do, so...
There's the jump. Rezo, the black hole, FANATIC. Jabs has the engine, the sniper caught up, but the damage is lacking. Gets the refresher off. The second black hole comes. Jabs has caught them. The freezing field. The damage on the sniper is good.
Still got Aegis.
The first life down, and Chrysalis stands his ground.
And BKB.
Being hammered by this Bloodseeker, though, as Zayas back in with a magnetize, clears through Raven. Armel very low on the HP, but they lost their Primal Beast. The Viper's dead. The high ground push has been halted. FANATIC quell the aggression from Secret, and Armel blinks back in onto the sniper. They've caught him with a frostbite. Puppy, what can he do to save his buddy? As Nisha with a BKB turns and hits them. The hits from the crit set of DJ's tree tosses. Good damage, but not enough. Nisha's sniper.
He just held his BKB.
Incredibly powerful. Comes back in for another round and volley of flurrying blows. Takes down the Tiny, Bloodseeker, and Maiden, and looks for the mega creeps now.
Yeah. Honestly, I spent that entire fight just watching what Nisha did, and he just single-handedly plays that team fight perfect. The fact they have to double black hole just to kill him once wins Secret the fight and the game. He comes back, blinks immediately away, and just repositions. Doesn't rush his BKB to get rid of Frostbite or anything, just positions and just keeps right-clicking. And there's no answer from FANATIC if they can't get on top of this sniper. He's just outranging everybody, and 4 dead, GG comes out. Nisha, the hero of this game, with a fantastic sniper performance.
Yeah, having so many lives. Aegis, Satanic, the backup from Puppy. Everything to save the sniper here as he keeps FANATIC in his reticle and takes them all down. Game 1 to Secret. Not a simple affair by any means, though, with lane swaps, aggression, all sorts of noise in that laning stage. It was an incredibly close-fought battle for the first, what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, this was a great game of Dota. This felt like TI caliber Dota. I think both teams overall played really well. Like, there weren't any kind of glaring mistakes, and just a treat to watch. So really, really amazing. Also, just fun to kind of see, like, Puppy understanding that he can get more farm and knows how to use it to kind of be this like front lane tank. I think his Ench was also kind of instrumental this game, constantly being the perfect bait that FANATIC kind of went on and didn't quite kill, which is maybe, I think, the one big thing FANATIC did wrong this game was like a couple of times just going in with the Tiny on a certain hero that they don't end up killing. I think DJ, the one player on the FANATIC side who didn't actually have the best game. His initiations were not as crisp as we're used to seeing, and a couple of times it felt like either by his own choosing or the team's choosing, he went in and a fight started just in a very poor way.
Yeah, we complimented him in the first 20 minutes because he was involved in 16 out of the 20 kills FANATIC had. Then it became much more difficult, like you mentioned. But I just love the end game cameras there. Puppy, waving his arms like, look what happens when I get a bit of farm, guys. I get a Dragon Lance, and all of a sudden we're winning games.
Yeah, fun game for being Edge, and Puppy. I think often you get that kind of game as a support where you get a crazy amount of farm and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to scale and I'm going to sit back and be a semi-sniper myself. But Puppy didn't try and dish out a ton of damage. He was happy to kind of frontline, be more of a tank, and he'd live and get to dish out damage afterwards, but understood how to position and play and set his team up to have a number of great team fights. You also have Rezo, you see in some of these highlights as well, where he's just constantly getting these good pulverizers off. The team fight that kind of really put Secret in a great position. The mid lane was when he first got that refresher, so just really good game all around from pretty much all of Secret.
Yeah, you've not mentioned Viper at all there, though.
There's a reason I said pretty much all.
I don't know. Unsung hero is probably the wrong way to put it, but a very good recovery from Crystalis. It has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, he recovered, but they didn't draft for him to carry the game. It was not his job, and I'm not actually sure what his job was this game. It was just to be sacrificial, really, more than anything.
That was my next question. What was his role? Yeah.
Be as tanky as possible, so they had to throw more spells to kill him off. But yeah, he was frontlining, and it got to a point where Nisha was the guy doing the damage and carrying. Like I feel like I'm being too harsh on. I just don't think there's anything Viper can do this game. He gets given the worst lanes, and just has to spend his game playing recovery. You pick Viper to crush a lane, and when you have a bad lane, it's like, well, you just make the best of a crappy situation, and that's kind of what Crystalis did. He was, off the radar this game, but he has his games where he does show up. So I don't think you just look at this game and be like, oh, he's the weak link of Secret. There was a game in the LCQ where I remember Nisha had a terrible game, and Crystalis stepped up alongside Rezo, and they kind of carried Nisha. So, he'll have his moments this TI, I'm sure, where he gets to show off.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the start of the draft. Crystalis, very often gets these sacrificial roles kind of thrown at him. I mean, I guess this game, he was like the Matador, right? If FANATIC with that raging bull charging around, he was the one with the bit of red fabric, waving it in front of them, like, look at me, I'm the target you want to go for. Ignore my sniper, ignore my primal beast. Come and kill me 8 times instead. And then, no surprises, Nisha, the MVP of game 1, 11-4 and 14, and a spectacular time. And he crushed his lane. Even 4 minutes in, it felt like he was going to have a spectacular performance no matter what happened.
Yeah. And I think the most impressive thing he did this game was just the positioning against Enigma. He didn't get caught in a single black hole until the very end when he had Aegis. And then it almost felt like by design, he's like, okay, I'll let him catch me because he's going to have to use double black hole to kill me. He doesn't have the follow-up damage. The way Rezo played that last team fight was that he was frontlining, so Enigma alone couldn't kill him off. So just amazing positioning from Nisha.
Yeah, gorgeous stuff indeed. Team Secret taking game 1 in this best of 2. First one of the day, and lots more Dota in front of us, so we'll have a quick break and return with game number 2.
victory. With our shields and our swords, we temper our courage. With our shields and our swords, we're making history. With those who make the game a reality, we're the vanguard. We're with the best. Let's raise our shields.
We're ready to go again. Game 2 here coming up between Team Secret and FANATIC. And game 1, I mean, no holds barred, all-out aggression, lane swaps, supports getting farm into big black holes towards the end, but Secret coming out on top with their niche sniper. What do we expect in game 2, Gods?
Hopefully more of the same. That was honestly an amazing game of Dota to watch. Both teams, particularly FANATIC in the early game, crushed it. And then Secret did a great job kind of clawing their way back in, putting together some really nice team fights around the vision Puppy's Ench was giving, as well as Zayas' Earth Spirits making all these plays. So I'm going to see another super kill-heavy game, because that's what FANATIC kind of delivered in this game 1.
Yeah, it was real great to watch. You know, this DJ Tiny roaming around, Zayats with his position for Earth Spirit, just causing all kinds of chaos, initiating every team fight pretty much to perfection. But we've got a new draft unfolding before us here in game 2 as we get into these initial picks and bans. Any respect you'd like to throw out there as a first phase ban, changing things up from game 1?
I don't think so. I think Secret showed they had good ways of dealing with Enigma. I feel like the Enigma was kind of neutered this game a bit by what Secret picked, how they played. And if anything, you know, FANATIC maybe want to veer away from it. I think for FANATIC, maybe the Ench is the only consideration. Puppy's Ench is just something they're going to be very confident first phasing. It's either Ench or Silencer, I guess, that he's going to be playing. So maybe it's like pick your poison, or you just leave both in because he's going to get one of them either way. And
yeah, because better respect now. I mean, for this Enigma point, we've seen a few heroes, right? Gyrocopter comes to mind as like a hero pick counter for the lane. We've seen these Enchantresses, Chens, even like Alchemist. You know, Liquid were toying with that idea as a way to deal with Eidolons. But is maybe more of a key concept here, putting your carry mid, because Chrysalis was the sacrifice. He didn't really care that Eidolons were denying experience from him. He was not the position 1. Is that the fact of the matter, that Secret, their answer to Enigma is just to put their position 1 in the mid lane?
Yeah, it might be. I wonder if that's what they did before, because I remember they had a Chrysalis Viper game in the past, which they won, and it kind of makes a lot of sense, because Enigma's just really good at slowing down enemy carries and slowing down their timings with all the denies, not to mention once you get like your level 7, you're pushing towers and forcing the carry out of the lane. So I think it's, with good reason that Secret leave Enigma in the pool again. They feel like they can just consistently beat this hero. They played against it all throughout the last chance qualifiers. I feel like teams are just kind of overrating Enigma. It's definitely a good hero, but I don't think it's maybe a just straight up first pick hero.
Yeah, maybe not anymore. Because they did it against Beast Coast as well, where Beast Coast had Enigma and Nisha did go that sniper in the mid lane, and they gave Chrysalis a Slardar and Resolution a Leshrac. So it looks like something they're toying with there is to kind of shift out their lane attribution or their roles for their players. So Primal Beast, Nyx, Batrider, and Marcy, the first 4 bans, and a bit of contemplation time now. FANATIC dipping into this reserve time. And this is one of those things, right? It's like, do we trust the Enigma still, or do we want to go back for like, an Undying or something along those lines? They have trust.
They trust it. We'll see which direction Secret go. Maybe they veer off to the Silencer, but based on last game, they just weren't afraid of Black Hole, even with no way to cancel it. It felt like there were a few Black Holes, mostly on like 1 or 2 heroes that were decent, but I don't think they were like team fight deciding necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, is this legit where you open Sniper Earth Spirit or something? Like, is that what Team Secret want to do? Enchantress to start, so that's a tool they used in the previous game.
Could be Ench Earth Spirit maybe, since they may expect Earth Spirit to get banned out, or you get the Ench plus last game was Primal Beast, so not sure. Like, the flex heroes feel nice in the first phase when you have second pick. It's kind of it's being second pick is hard. Like, this opening 2 picks, you can't pick anything that gets easily countered because you don't get to protect it. So it's almost always like support plus flex, double support, or just like support plus offlaner is usually what you see out of second pick teams.
I guess one of those big flex heroes is still the Shadow Fiend that's out there as well, right? For mid or safe lane. Decent against the Enigma, and both Nisha and Crystallis can play it.
Absolutely. I think SF is very warranted as a pick here. If they don't, maybe Fnatic grabs it. Maybe they're worried about picking SF and then Fnatic get the Morphling, which has looked at least solid against, I think, the SF. It kind of forces SF to go Magic build. And instead they go Leshrac. Okay.
Okay, so that was the position 3 they used for Rezo in one of these previous games, so not a big shift away. And again, it's that flex. Give it to Nisha, give it to Crystallis across all 3 core roles. He can be slotted in nicely.
10
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
Coming today, we mentioned earlier, the most picked hero so far of this group stage. And
5 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
it's the flex hero of the first phase that they can get. It also, maybe they feel like it's just like a nice tempo, fast-paced hero to pair with Ench. It deters, to me, the Morphling pick a bit. SF, you still can go for, but I think SF also maybe takes a little bit longer to come online, particularly if it's like a safe lane, right-click SF. It doesn't like, you have to get often like your Mask of Madness, your Dragonlance, your BKB before you're ready to go, so you're not really defending towers early on. Neither's Enigma, so it does feel like Ench plus Lesh is a good kind of foundation to really play a fast-paced game. And yeah, Fnatic, I think you almost had to go a different direction because you're worried about all the early pressure Secret can put on you.
Yeah, if you're relying on this big, long cooldown of the Black Hole, always nice to have something a little shorter there to actually start your team fights with that Rolling Thunder. And is there flexibility with Pango here? In the past we've seen a bit of pos 4, but it's mainly the 2 and 3 role, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Be surprised if they did anything else.
So does that lock in Enigma as 3 and Pango as 2, or do we have the chance of like Enigma 4?
I mean, it's DJ, so it's always a possibility, but just feels like Enigma's, when it comes to the standard meta, it's pretty locked into being 3 position with Pango mid. I feel like that's the most likely. I mean, at the same time, I think actually, if anything, Enigma's locked into 3 for me, and then Pango flexes between either 4 position or mid.
Okay.
But who knows? 4 position Pango pretty weak, but that's where Enigma comes in. You just kind of, deny creeps and pull the lane back and just play very passively in that off lane.
5 seconds.
Yeah, we'll see where they head. Team Secret opting to start banning some of these 4 heroes. A Tiny, followed by the Shadow Fiend. Still leaving a lot of the Zayat heroes in there, though. I feel like Fnatic could, give a shout out to his Earth Spirit, give him respect. They've already taken out the Nyx. If you get rid of Earth Spirit, I guess there's still Tusk in the pool.
10 seconds.
That's one of the difficulties with banning. It's like, okay, I ban his signature hero, but he's still got this pool of 3 or 4 that he's very good on still. Like the 4 pool is pretty deep compared to the 5 pool nowadays, it feels like.
Yeah, it's hard to ban out a lot of these 4 players. I mean, some have like a preferred couple of heroes, so you maybe can ban out their best ones, which is kind of what Fnatic's doing with the Nyx ban, because I don't think you're banning against Nyx against a lot of teams. But if you start thinking of banning Earth Spirits and stuff, you're just like, well, is Earth Spirit really worth a ban?
Yeah.
He's still going to get his hands on like a Tusk or Clockwork or something.
5 seconds.
Yeah, Clock was the other one. Yeah, you're right. I'm wondering here about a Rubik for Secret. A little scared of like Rubik enters your support duo, but when I see Enigma Pango, I'm just like, oh, dream Rubik game. I guess that also depends on what your offlaner is. Rubik Lesh doesn't seem particularly bad, but I think you'd prefer a Rubik plus a strength core.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. Like I think the Rubik and the Pango Enigma, obviously for the spell steal, you've got Black Hole, you've got Rolling Thunder, but like we had a game where I think a team first phase Rubik plus Ench against Enigma, and it just lost horribly because they're not picking Enigma just for Black Hole. If anything, you're picking it for a number of other reasons. So you got to be careful, I think, going too hard into the let's counter Enigma train. Right now, they don't really have any good frontliner, and picking like a melee support kind of looks like it could fit a bit nicer for Secret, but it is a great Rubik game.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, it's time to start showing.
5 seconds remaining.
Team Secret with this 3rd pick. They ban out the Clockwork leading into it. So Earth Spirit yet again.
makes sense. Just stick with what worked, and I think Secret just seemed to play best around Zayats being on these kind of more run-in, give vision, start fights off. Like, I think Earth Spirit just plays very similar to the Nyx Assassin. And the Nyx Assassin is what kind of carried them through the last chance qualifiers. So they're going to stick with that kind of approach. They've got great follow-up for the Earth Spirit with the Leshrac already. So I think for Fnatic, probably saw this one coming, but just felt like, let's give it to them. We know what Earth Spirit does. We can kind of play and draft around it.
Yeah, he's the one setting the tempo. Undying for Fnatic now, so I do come back for that position 5.
Yeah.
Still need to see what his lane partner is going to be and how Fnatic actually move these heroes into the roles that they need.
And you can see why they were happy to leave Earth Spirit in the pool, because they knew Undying was still there, and they're just like, okay, if they get Earth Spirit, we've got this pretty free safe lane now. Undying is going to secure the lane for almost any carry when you've got a counter to an Earth Spirit. And Fnatic's approach this game is kind of different to the last. Last game was like, let's play fast, let's go for all these kills, play tempo Dota. This time around, it's, let's play late game. Let's get a TP. Let's guarantee that we do not get outscaled by some hero. Last game was the sniper. There's not really anything that's going to outscale a TB. There's stuff that can kind of go toe-to-toe with it in the late game, but there's nothing where it's like, oh, you lose late game with TB.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty good Naga game so far. One of the heroes that we have seen utilized against TB, against Enigma and Undying. You've got this song to kind of reset around a Black Hole or a Rolling Thunder or a Tombstone, where you can focus them down in that magic immunity. And the map control you can get from, Naga DP, Naga Lesh, similar kind of things here, where Lesh, Enchantress, Earth Spirit can play aggressively and look for early towers, and then Naga starts cutting, making that map smaller for your opponents.
It's a great hero to reset fights against Undying Enigma too, but
Ooh.
I think the thing is, it's not really a secret hero, I guess. If this was like an OG or something, they'd be picking Naga, but I don't think I've seen Secret play the hero, and just often, as we've talked about, they're not putting Chrysalis on like the true carry, so putting Naga kind of veers off a different direction. They still may pick it, but this to me says we're going to prioritize countering this TB. Like, you pick Naga here, Zeus maybe gets banned because Lesh is likely going to be Rezo's offlane hero. Lesh already deals pretty well with TB, but a Lesh plus Zeus, good luck, TB.
Buy a hood or something, man.
Yeah, Raven's looking at this like, man, what is this hate?
I mean, is there anything they can do to like cover him here and protect him? Is there like I don't know, position 4 that they can grab that has enough heals, like a Chen? Or I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you want it. I think you were looking more for classic DJ heroes, but at the same time, maybe it's a position 4 Pengo, and you pick up a mid now and say, okay, we see this Zeus mid, let's get something for Armel where he can like maybe crush the lane and also get on top of the Zeus and give you want to give Zeus a hard time. Much like the sniper, Zeus is a very similar hero, just instead of right clicks, it's spells. You want to sit back, not get caught, position so that you can just dish out the most damage possible. And again, Secret have kind of put Nisha on this positioning-based hero that's meant to kind of carry the game.
Yeah, Kunkka's such a good ban there. Exceptional laning stage against the Zeus. Having that drag back as well allows you to target him quite nicely. As Fnatic start banning out these Chrysalis heroes. And the Faithless Void, good pairing with Lesh and Zeus. Those big damage heroes can pump things into the Chrono. And Razor as well, the stock standard, really.
Yeah, I think as far as mid laners here, if that's what Fnatic want, they're looking at heroes that get on top of Zeus, or a Kunkka type pick forces him to maybe go BKB, which is a win in itself. It means he's not getting a damage item, so we'll see what that may be. Some of the spirits could still be effective, like an Ember type hero. Puck gets banned out. Yeah, Secret are expecting a 4-position Pengo, or maybe even 4-position Enigma with 3 Pengo. After the last game, maybe DJ's saying, okay, it's my turn to play Enigma.
Yeah, let's show everyone how it's done. Oh, this last pick. Fnatic going blind into it, so they don't know what Team Secret's carry is going to be.
Yeah, with Secret,
and there's also the chance it's Lesh Pos 1 as well, right?
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking and going to mention too. You don't really know. They've had Chrysalis play a variety of kind of selfless heroes that don't need to scale. So if they see a hero for Rezo, they could go that direction. Oh, okay. So it is going to be the mid Pengo. They decide, Secret were expecting a mid pick to come out last, the Puck Kunkka bans, but then they just pick up Tusk, which I don't think is a mid Tusk. It has been played before in the mid lane by FANATIC as well, but
10
I don't think so.
remaining.
Yeah, probably the Pango mid. 3 Enigma, 1
5
TB,
seconds
Yep.
remaining.
the DJ Tusk.
He's probably going to want to redeem himself after last game. He had a great start, but then couldn't quite make the same caliber of plays later on in the game. And Tusk is very much comfort zone for him. I mean, he's been around long enough. I feel like he's got so many comfort heroes, but
Yeah.
Tusk is up there.
So if you've got answers for TB here, do you still want answers for like the Rolling Thunder and the BKB Black Hole? Is there a hero that you want that pierces magic immunity, or is there a grander scheme here for Team Secret for this last pick?
Well, they're going to go Morphling, so I feel like you want something that scales when you see this Enigma TB draft. Like, you want to at least have some way to match, because, you know, you've got Leshrac, you can push the tempo a bit, but it's just unreliable to say we're going to go all in and take all these early towers. So they put themselves in a position where, you know, picking carries against Enigma still works fine. Like, you've got a pretty free lane versus Enigma. Like, you get some farm denied, but you're pretty much in for a good time when you're playing into Enigma. This is just not a hero that generally has much kill threat.
I mean, can we go back to Januel's camera? Because I don't feel like I've thought this very often, but the mustache and mullet, it really works for him. I don't think that suits many people, but my goodness, he is a handsome fella. Look at that.
He's the SCA fans. The mullet gives him power. Is in the talk throughout the year. We've had many interviews with him throughout SCA DPC, and the mullet's there to stay. He's
good.
He rocks it.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, here we are, game 2. FANATIC up against Team Secret. The Terrorblade feels like it's been hard counted, honestly. Rezo, Nisha, this Lesh, and Zeus. Even the Aghanim's potential from the Morphling, able to turn into that TB, steal his attack speed and his stats. Pretty damn good, but FANATIC have a lot of team fight here, a lot of control, which maybe Secret could struggle with. Through this Pango, Enigma, Tusk, lots of ways to jump and catch in those back lines.
Yeah. And that's really the key of this game, is catching and jumping those back lines. This time around, it's going to be Armel playing the mid lane Pango, as well as DJ on the Tusk. These are the heroes that need to address and keep the Zeus away from the TB. I'm curious to see how kind of greedy FANATIC want to play this one. They can kind of use the TB kind of more in the mid game and try and build this team fight and play around like the early Wraith Pack. Because as you mentioned, their team fight is pretty damn scary. Tombstone, Black Hole, Wraith Pact, TB meta, like, they can fight with TB hitting like a fast BKB. And I don't think Morphling's going to be ready to kind of join engagements as early as the TB is.
Yeah, needs a little more ramp up time to get his items going. Might see an early Roshan here from FANATIC if they can get some of those early team fights for themselves. Yeah, really got to consider these early catapult timings as well, because you've got Enigma TB able to push towers, but equally Team Secret with his Lesh Enchantress. If they dive a tower with an Earth Spirit, find a kill, they could very quickly, with Diabolic Edict and just an Ench creep, kill off the tier 1 mid with a catapult wave, move into that enemy safe lane, and get these early objectives to make the map smaller for Enigma TB, who can be pretty greedy in terms of farm.
30 seconds to battle.
They need a lot of that jungle and space to themselves.
Absolutely.
DJ.
And we'll see how early this TB gets pushed out of lane. Playing against a Lesh plus Earth Spirit lane does feel pretty tricky for TB. The Undying, definitely good at securing this lane, but have to be very careful and make sure that you get a lot of value around the early Metamorphosis usage.
Well, Zayat walks up into that Undying TB and gets bullied away. Yeah, absolutely curious to see what Januel decides to skill up here, because he's gone boots level 1, maybe expecting some lane dragging. Definitely wants to create a gap between himself and the Earth Spirit Lesh when he gets gone on. But maybe even like a 2-2-0 build here from the Undying. Just have more heals, have more sustain, not focus on Tombstone until the laning phase really breaks down.
Yeah. Instantly just going into the decay, of course, and his job is going to be trying to make Raven's life as easy as possible. Rezo getting decay spammed and harassed right off the bat.
Yeah, both of the magic sticks already prepared for this, knowing that Reflection is going to come out at the same time. As we take a peek across all 3 lanes, Nisha and Armel keeping our eyes on that one. The battle between the Zeus and the Pango. already both pretty low on HP and burning through tangos quickly, trying to rush into their bottles. Just continually clicking away at each other. And up in that top lane, DJ blocking small camp and having a battle with Puppey.
Yeah, tough battle for DJ. Luckily gets the uphill miss there. Level 1 impetus still hurts, and DJ with the boots is trying to just avoid Puppey as much as possible. Down bottom, Rezo getting so low here. This is just level 1 TB with reflection, and
Janwell, he dives it and kills off the Lash. Great body blocks from Zayat, but FANATIC with the first blood. That's the boots on Undying, paying off big time.
Yep. Got his win lace, spent his money, has a couple mangoes to come back to lane, and all while that's going on, TB's just hitting creeps, so you feel great about that. You're kind of distracting both heroes while getting a kill, and your TB gets refound.
Yeah, wonderfully done. Man, every time I peek in mid, they're both like 200 HP, and I'm expecting someone to die. The bottles will arrive now, so they'll have a quick sip, closing in on those water runes, so they'll be fine.
Mel started the lane just like running at the Zeus, but back down bottom, they've got Metamorphosis now.
On the
They're to get more kills.
Yeah. Oh goodness, he does go for Tombstone level 2, and that's unlocked the kill threat here with the zombies. Chasing Lash and that Earth Spirit. So it's going to be Zayat left to lap up the experience from this wave, crashing onto his tier 1.
DJ in trouble
But
top. He's
DJ
Okay.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
does survive. But yeah, already a bit of tier 1 tower damage done bottom lane, not something you usually see. And Rezo, no TP, so the long walk back down to the bottom lane, it's a struggle for him with 2 deaths already to his name.
I think FANATIC is showing such familiarity with this TB Undying lane. I mean, they've been playing Raven TB has been a classic all year long, and Zhao and his Undying is something he is also very comfortable on. And the laning prowess is just what's winning them this bottom lane right now.
Yeah, like Secret have this ward in the lane behind tier 1, looking for courier snipes, looking for pulls, but there's been no pulls. There have been no opportunities to go for courier snipes because of how forward FANATIC are playing in this lane. Incredible stuff so far. Looks like a bit of calm now, though. Rezo's going to be kind of soft dragging wave back towards range creeps, trying to get a pull with Zayat. Blocked up as top. Puppey dead to the tag team of DJ. Crystallis has waveform and adaptive strike. Struggling against the Eidolons, though. A lot of damage from jabs. Gonna force him back.
Yeah, usually Enigma lanes not really kill lanes, but already earn charges for the Enigma. Daniel does a good job sidestepping that rolling boulder, and again, they've just got this lane setup where TB's just freely hitting and farming all these creeps, and all Secret can do is try and avoid fighting into them, go for these side pulls, but every time they try and get this pull off, Januel's there to kind of prevent it.
Yeah, he's everywhere. And you do have Puppey going mid to refill the bottle of Nisha. Body blocking Armel as he tries to retreat away. He is straight up dead. They were even thinking about TPing a +1 for Secret. Didn't need it in the end.
Yeah, gets the help, and this is the key thing with some of these mid lanes where both of them just seem to constantly be like trading blows and harassing. Any kind of support rotation to secure a rune, deny a rune, or refill a bottle just makes such a big impact when they're playing the mid lane as if it's a pure 1v1.
Yeah, and again, it's that emphasis onto Nisha, giving him the best time you can in this laning stage. He's the big impact hero here, especially if you can crack level 6 early. But again, it's this play bottom. Raven and Januel trying to dive the Lash, but turning quickly in onto Zayat as DJ slays Puppey elsewhere on the map. 2 supports down on the side of Secret, and FANATIC are again on this tier 1 tower, whacking away at buildings 5 minutes in.
Yeah, early Metamorphosis being used and actually getting building damage is pretty unheard of these days. Usually you're not pushing your safe lane, your carry's tower. This is like 5 years ago something you would do, but they're bringing it back. FANATIC just having such a good time that they actually get to push a tier 1 early.
Yeah, Lash with 12 last hits. They're trying to drag wave back, but half HP on that tower already.
Yeah, not being quite the game Rezo would have hoped for, but still across the board, not a disastrous laning stage for Secret outside of this bottom lane. Zeus coming out on top of the mid lane with the help of that kill, and Crystal is doing good on his Morphling up top. Not quite as well as the TB, but his lane, despite the Puppey deaths, has been pretty uncontested.
Puppey just trying impetus, steal attempt on that creep from Crystallis. Well, it's definitely curious to see how much emphasis they do put on this Morphling in terms of farm priority. As we've been saying, Crystal is taking the back seat in a lot of these games as a sacrifice. But he is the hard carry this time around. Needs the space to be created by Nisha and Resolution. Well, Armel getting his Rolling Thunder cancelled out the first time will actually land a few stuns in onto this Earth Spirit. And bringing Janwell and DJ mid. Maybe considering the go on Nisha there, but it looks like Armel is going to fall back on the bounty rune.
Just feels like one of these plays you often see now. 6 minutes in, supports rotate, deny the rune from the enemy mid laner, but then die in the process. But it almost feels like an okay trade. Or at least teams have shown that they feel like it's an acceptable trade. He gets to respawn, and then he TP's mid and refills Nisha's bottle. So, there's still value being made by Zayats despite dying there.
And making sure that DD doesn't go in the hands of the Pango. Yeah. It can absolutely cause issues. A bit of breathing room for Rezo now at long last. There's no meta, there's no one dying on him, but the swarm is coming. Janwell and DJ, they're arriving again in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and Ravens being still free farming. Both carries having very free lanes here.
Yeah, Nisha.
Get these kills. Snowball in.
And go straight forward with a Tombstone Snowball. Tag team from DJ. Raven doesn't want to get too deep though, so Janwell and DJ, they forced a massive TP from Secret, but they're going to have to try and escape now. Lose the Undying. A tier 1 falls. A pretty big victory there from FANATIC, forcing so many to rotate and still getting the objective.
Yeah, they're going to feel fine about that. Just losing your 5 position, everybody else gets out, and your TP's instantly into the jungle to farm. Armel wasn't doing much pressure on the mid lane. He'd actually had to do a trip back to base, but yeah, I don't think FANATIC have any issues with how that went. Jabs is having a bit of a tough time. Can't really lane against this Morphling anymore. He was back in the jungle farming Ancients, but ultimately he's still making sure he finds a way to get some good early farm.
Well, they were really considering that jump on Nisha. DJ did trap him in the shards, but opting not to go for it this time. A mild 1-2k lead here for FANATIC. 8 minutes in. Good introduction to game 2.
Arcane Rune, unfortunately for FANATIC, spawns bottom. Armel was headed top, so instead of going back to the mid lane, Armel is making a move onto the Morphling up top. Have they got the Spirit Vessel? It's not there, but they've got a black hole from the trees.
Just catch him out before he can shift. Crystallis, Fairy Fire, popped, waveforms off, but the Snowball tag team. It's here from DJ. Good strength, adaptive strike to push him back in the side steps. Pirouetting like a ballerina around Armel, but it's enough damage from FANATIC to take the Morphling down in the end.
Yeah, just willing to... I mean, they get a decent chunk of damage off before the morph strength starts, so once he starts morphing, it feels like it's almost too little too late to save his life, and the response from Secret is going to be going for a smoke play here. They've got Arcane Rune Zeus. This is a lot of damage that Nisha can dish out if they catch anybody, but it does seem like FANATIC are wary. They've already vacated this top lane.
A quick evacuation. We've not seen a Thunder God's Wrath yet, I don't think. Very useful ability here to scout people out and get that damage going early on. Nisha just going to get a D-ward in the mid lane, though. Keep farming away. So no real play comes out of that smoke from Secret. And it looks like their ward does get scouted as well, as Zayats was spotted going into that bottom jungle. This is all free time for Raven. Doesn't feel too comfortable bottom anymore. He comes up top. He's got level 3 Meta, level 3 Conjure Image. So a push on this tier 1 with the help of the Enigma. A good move for them, as they can actually collapse top with the rest of FANATIC. Armel and DJ, they're mid currently, but not too far away to go and start a fight there.
Feels like these two heroes alone, unless Secret bring numbers, should be enough to get this early tower. Even committing the Metamorphosis, so FANATIC making their intentions pretty clear that they want to use this TB to push the tempo, not play greedy Dota.
Well, they smoke to top, then move back to mid. Tag team with a swashbuckle is good onto Puppey, but again, they've targeted this Enchantress, not got the kill. Losing DJ in the process, and Armel having to spend the Rolling Thunder and a few swashbuckles just to get away. Secret. Oh, they bring all 5. Everyone's here to make sure the Puppey stays alive and even transfer this into a tier 1 push.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to bottom, though, where it feels like maybe a bit of an overcommitment. And if they get this tier 1 mid tower, it's going to feel well worth it, but 5 heroes just to make that play happen.
Well, the Tombstone's dropped under tower, but they're aiming Armel. has the swash to turn onto Zayas, Janwell, and DJ. Blow up Resolution. Under this tower, Secret just didn't have enough to combat the tombstone. And FANATIC's response, TB didn't even come to get involved. He pushed out top tier 1, keeps on farming. And FANATIC with a firm grasp on this game, they're going to swing back into the mid lane and look for a tier 1 of their own.
Yeah, amazing fight for them. I mean, Secret, I think, take the right approach, which is like, okay, we brought 5 here, we've got to get this tier 1 tower, but they just kind of dove and overcommitted a bit too hard, and once you overcommit against an Undying and you get the tombstone down, things go really badly for you. Armel, the hero they really wanted to kill there on the Pengo, but he gets away with the swashbuckle on like 100 health, and at that point Secret have just overcommitted and bit off more than they can chew.
And they're going to have another crack at Puppy.
With the Vessel.
Oh yeah, they've got the Vessel, you're right. That's enough. That's the tipping point, but they do trade DJ again.
It's smart. I think this is a big item for Jabs to get, and you know, touch upon, you're not usually drafting the Enigma so much for the Black Hole and going Vessel. He likely still goes for the Wraith pack. We'll have to see, unless he wants to prioritize Blink BKB, but this is an item which is just going to be really nice against the Morphling, the Ench, and just make all these Secret heroes just a little bit more killable in the early game.
Zayas finds the roll. Pango has Swashbuckle, though, and a Rolling Thunder gives him that immunity against the Magnetize. DJ also arriving, but he won't quite get the catch onto Zayas. The roll was well timed to get to low ground again.
I feel like pro players have gotten so good at dodging Rolling Thunder. We saw it top lane earlier with the Morphling, and we see it there with the Earth Spirit. All these Pengos get made to look a little bit silly at times when their Rolling Thunder gets dodged, but players are just so good.
Zayas is really trying to make life a little bit painful here for Armel. Every time he sees the Pango, he's rolling on him, no matter how many teammates he's got behind this Earth Spirit. The Pango, level 4 swash, got himself a Lance of Pursuit, and he's only 1,000 gold away from that Diffusal Blade now, so looking for that big key item. Still going to smoke up with Raven, DJ, Janwell, heading into enemy Ancients.
This mid tower dropped pretty fast. Ench Creep does a decent amount of damage here, so this smoke needs to come soon.
They're going to try and launch in from the back. They see the Zeus, the Snowball. DJ can't catch up to him. He's got the Tumbler's Toy to make a bit of a gap, so they turn instead onto Puppy. Zayas rolling away, and the Tombstone, it's there and stolen by Crystalis. 2 tombs on the ground, but FANATIC have killed off the 2 of them. Zeus, in the end, did get tracked back by DJ. Was that just a solo kill from the Tusk on him? He's going to die to the Lesh, but no.
He may not die.
Snowball save buys the time he needs. Rezo trying to push himself to high ground. The Snowball to the creeps, but the Lightning Storm is there. Armel still able to crash in with the Rolling Thunder. Now he's up to high ground with a nice play on the ledge, but Armel has the swash to close the gap again.
DJ,
how did that Zeus die?
He just got solo killed by Tusk. Like, phase boots, tag team. He got on top of him and just kept right-clicking. The fight not over. Here's Zayas once Armel, but then, TP out, not in time. Zeus with the ulti, the Thunder God to finish him off. Gets a little bit of revenge, but yeah, Tusk solo killing a Zeus. I mean, that's the weak side. I mean, Zeus is sub 1,000 health, just has gone for this Kaya build, so anytime you get on top of him, he does melt. We'll see the team fight again here, but yeah, off to the side. You can see there on the minimap, it's literally just a solo Tusk killing Zeus.
Yeah, I thought when the Snowball didn't land and Zeus got off the Heavenly Jump, it's like, oh yeah, Nisha's fine. Absolutely not. Everyone else from FANATIC turned to fight around Tombstone, and DJ just eyes set on the prize. Made sure the Zeus dies in the end. Still a very close game, though. You know, you've got the fear of the Morphling getting towards his Manta, maybe the Ags a little bit later on. And it looks like FANATIC there. We were wondering about Jabs' next item. You mentioned the Wraith Pact. You know, we had the possibility of BKB Blink, but he's got a Hand of Midas.
That was not on my bingo card, but...
No?
So yeah, he's, I guess, going for some late game assurance. Maybe felt like last game he couldn't farm some of those, BKB Blink refreshers at a decent pace, so Midas will give him a lot of also experience growth, something that's kind of an underrated aspect of the item, but yeah, just not what I expected.
Yeah, it's nice, you really praised all that ghost pushing from the Eidolons, but I guess if Enigma's not near enough by to get the experience, you need something to keep yourself in the running. FANATIC right now playing under the vision in that enemy jungle. Janwell has a great spot here. to launch himself forward in towards Zayat, but a roll away again, gonna give him the distance. Angling towards Rezo, but a little bit scary playing into enemy tier 2 at this point. They force Secret away, and it looks like they're gonna try and get into Roche instead.
They dropped the tombstone, so they're pretty committed to this one. Secret already used the scan on the Roshan pit. They know FANATIC has the capabilities to go for this one, and they're trying to pressure it. Swashbuckle with Diffusal Blade does a lot of damage now, so even just casual harass from Armel is going to keep Secret at bay and maybe even just prevent them from contesting this.
And you said it in the draft, this is that kind of moment, 16 minutes in, where Morphling isn't ready yet. Whereas FANATIC, with this meta, with his tombstone and the golem giving amplified damage, get the Aegis over onto Raven. Pivoting up towards high ground, they see Puppey. They'll get the shards block on him. Walrus Punch, DJ, a bit of a delayed animation, but they'll shred through the Enchantress. Move on to Rezo now as well. And Secret getting caught a little bit with their pants down. Not expecting that hyper-aggression from FANATIC straight after Roche falling.
Yeah, Rezo, he doesn't have an escape like an Earth Spirit there. He just needs to be... If you're not contesting Roche, which I think pretty clearly they're not. You've got Morphling elsewhere just trying to farm and come online. Someone like Leshrac just needs to be vacating the premises and giving up that part of the map to FANATIC, who want to go for this tier 2 tower, but here comes Secret. They want to fight this.
Zayat rolls in, gets the jump straight onto Raven. Sunder's back. And he's taking a lot of magic damage, though, from Magnetize and the Zeus Zaps, but Zayat has gone a step too far. Blown up by the Walrus Punch there. Tower defended and held by Secret, but they needed everyone to come, and they needed Zayat's life as a sacrifice.
Just all the sustain from FANATIC, even without the Soul Rip. They've got a mech on Undying. They've had the Seeds of Serenity for some extra heal on the ground. And just so hard for Secret to finish off some of those kills. They do keep the tier 2 top tower alive, but it's not going to feel particularly good about it, I don't think.
How hard do you think this game's going to start snowballing for FANATIC with this Aegis?
I think pretty hard. Like, the way they're itemizing and playing, it's very early mid-game centric. Like, Pengo going for the fast Diffusal. Undying's now got a hood almost. We could see a fast pipe from him, for example. And just TB hitting Manta style now is going to be a pretty strong pushing presence. Next meta is kind of, to me at least, tier 2 top, maybe even tier 2 bottom during this Aegis timer. Sorry, tier 2 mid, not bottom, but yeah.
Yeah, so is this now down to Secret kind of looking for smoke ganks and pickoffs? Because again, it doesn't feel like they've got the 5v5, two teams clashing head-on, big teamfight ultis they need. Yeah,
I think a big part of Secret's game plan is going to be delaying. Like last game, they had the sniper. This time around, it's Zeus plus Morphling. They're hoping the Morphling can outcarry the TB, particularly with the Ag Scepter build, where you get to steal, his stats and whatnot. And if they can get to that point in the late game and just turtle it up, defend high ground, which is something that Zeus should be very good at, this game can swing back their way. But they're going to give up a lot of farm to FANATIC in order to do that.
Man, they're going to need what, another 5 minutes, maybe more, for this Morphling to get Ags. But
what
DJ,
a stun from Rezo.
Yeah, getting stunned up by the Leshrac. Centaur was there as well to help out. And Zayat, he's gone aggressive, looking for this Pango, but the Rolling Thunder back. Armel, he's fighting in behind tier 2, zoning them away with the Thunder. Raven might be spending his Aegis here. 2 minutes remaining on it, but dropping lower and lower. But he's got back into the trees. It's Radiant with the vision up on the high ground and a Tombstone to zone Secret. So they come back in looking for Rezo. Jabs, the Sunder comes and the Black Hole's there. Just a solo one to kill off the Lesh.
Guarantee the kill. Hasn't really had any Black Hole opportunities. Would have been close. I don't think the Malefice maybe would have been enough to get the kill without Hole. So just gets it out and gives FANATIC complete control of this top side of the map. They now control this outpost. They've taken the tier 2 tower. They may have to wait for next Metamorphosis to go for that mid tower as well. And by then they are at risk of this Aegis expiring. So perhaps Secret have weathered the storm with another kill on DJ, this time in the mid lane. They've actually found some nice little pickoffs here.
Yeah, a great rotation from Crystallis, all the way from bottom lane where he was farming through the bottom jungle and connects in with his Earth Spirit. Zayat's finally getting that involvement and impact we saw in game 1. What is it that he steals here? 70 attack speed and 20% of target stats stolen with the Morphling Ags. And that is huge when you've got this basically solo carry Terrorblade. You remove him from the fight for the most part.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to try to get any kind of like Lincoln Sphere or something for the TB to protect him against it. Whether he buys it himself or maybe gets a teammate to do it, but it could become a tough matchup. They're going to have to address the Morphling in other ways. They've got the Spirit Vessel. Morphling, though, has a Manta Style, will get a BKB eventually, so Enigma's Black Hole is maybe going to have to be the big answer for Chrysalis. The good news is, unlike last game, they've got a hero that's much easier to Black Hole. Last time, playing against this sniper who you can never see, Morphling is going to have to be playing more on the front lines.
Yeah. Do you know how Lotus Orb works with this morph? If they put Lotus on the TV, does he steal the stats back, or?
I have no idea. I don't feel like you won't morph into the Morphling, I'm pretty sure.
I was pretty certain of that, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see if they do get one of those Lincolns or Lotuses for him.
Armel charging forward. Once Rezo has an Arcane Rune.
Yeah, swashing away. Rolling Thunder there, going to connect on Rezo. He's trying to get to this ledge again to get pushed to low ground. Zayat, he's rolling back in, trying to aim for Armel and DJ's Tusk, getting punched around and crashed upon by the Pango and the Tusk. And there we go, the kill on Zayat, but it's allowed Rezo to get away from danger.
Morphling gets down a Tombstone of his own, but that gets quickly farmed up, and it will be FANATIC taking this bottom tier 2 tower. The Aegis expires, but they're still just so strong when it comes to these team fights. I'm not sure they'll be able to finish off this tier 2 tower. They have got meta, but without Tombstone, without Black Hole for 10 seconds, they may feel a little bit antsy about this one.
And DJ trying the quick move, but again, it's onto Poppy's Enchantress, who's the one to break the vision. Tusk feeling a little worse for wear here. FANATIC in retreat mode. Johnwell trying to get back. Jab's going to blink away as well. They need to escape. Get Raven and Armel away from danger because the Thunder God's Wrath and a lot of damage coming the way of the Pango. Well, the kick just misses, but the roll won't. Can he sunder? Can he turn? Can he get the HP back? He can. Resolution now low HP and the snowball forward allows them to chase down while Jabs the Black Hole cancelled immediately. Zeus stops him in his tracks and Chrysalis can open up. The Morphling getting involved with a double kill and FANATIC the ones retreating. Team Secret, you talked about weathering the storm in this game. It's cracked wide open again by this team fight from Secret.
Yeah, it just feels such a similar story to last game where, they're getting kind of hunted down. They're avoiding these fights, and all it takes is that one moment where they finally bring their carry to the fight. Last game was the Sniper, this time the Morphling, and they just kind of catch FANATIC playing a bit too aggressive. Like, FANATIC kind of commit to this bottom lane tier 2 tower. We'll see it all again here. Like, they backed off, but they're being hunted because they know FANATIC are sticking around when they don't have Rolling Thunder. When the Black Hole, they were still waiting for 10 more seconds, and when they finally get off, it gets insta-cancelled. But just taking FANATIC on when they're missing some of these key spells and they aren't quite ready for a full 5v5.
Now, what a place for the Morphling to be on that high ground, atop the staircase, raining down damage on his opponents. The start of the game was very good again from FANATIC, but it feels like, and going through the main body of the text, the Chapter 1, Chapter 2 here for Team Secret, getting Zayat's picked off doesn't feel too good, but leading into conclusion, this Morphling, Lesh, and Zeus are starting to become real threats, even after Rezo's poor laning stage. And this Bloodstone build allows him to frontline so nicely.
Yeah. Still going to have some maybe survivability issues against TB meta. He's going to have Skadi soon. Is going to eat him alive, perhaps, but that's going to be very dependent on Raven's BKB timing. I think pre-BKB, he's going to start feeling the pain of this Zeus Leshrac now. We're kind of at that point where Zeus isn't just forced to play ultra scared with the items he's got, the Aether Lens, the Boots of Travel. He's got a lot of mobility. And he's got the cast range to kind of really sit back and just use his spells. So FANATIC are going to have to do what they can to try and guarantee that Raven doesn't get punished too heavily in these fights.
It feels like he needs this next Aegis. He'll have Skadi completed now. So Terrorblade with another big item there against the Morphling. And Roshan in 30 seconds, he'll make his appearance again. And Team Secret, though, they've pushed out bottom wave real hard. That needs to be maintained by Jabs on his Enigma. Mid lane going to get shoved by Rezo. So Secret really prepping here for this upcoming Roshan fight. It's an inevitability that they're going to have a big clash around the pit. And they've got a good ward as well, already prepped.
Yeah.
And they see Raven right now. And they're going to know there's a number of heroes lurking in that top right-hand corner. elbow of the map is inhabited by DJ and Armel.
See, Januel headed top, so they're going to expect most of the Fnatic team to be up here. So looks like they're not going to look to set up a fight necessarily, but just play back and wait for Fnatic to come to them. Morphling is headed that direction as well.
Dire vision again. Puppey just keeping tabs on all of them. Sees the smoke happen. And they continue to have vision over Raven's Terrorblade. Armel will bottle up a haste. There's no one showing here from Secret. Chrysalis maybe, yeah, he's out in open water a little bit, but quickly away from that large camp after farming it.
I'm not sure if, like, does TB want to fight while he's being more Agi drained? It's 70 attack speed and 20% Agi. It's such a huge chunk of his damage that he loses.
Yeah, and wow, the jump on Puppey. Aiming Enchantress again. Takes a little while to bring her down, but she's now dead for 40. But the fact that Morphling also went for the talent, 16 morph duration, he's pretty much got this up constantly.
Yeah, perma uptime. Just has to find the TB, and TB is going to be pretty sad about it. So doesn't look like there's any kind of Lincolns or anything to kind of address it. He's just going to have to suffer a bit. Has a BKB queued up, which is, you know, I think rightfully just more essential for his game. Roche's respawn now. Fnatic are kind of camping around there, at least around their vision. TB showing top though, so Fnatic have to be a little bit careful about any kind of fight that may break out here.
Taking the outpost, maybe a little risky, but something that DJ feels he needs to do so that Enchantress can't just respawn and TP top to get that vision going. Instead, Secret, they'll TP mid, smoke up as 5.
Yep.
And start walking towards the Roche pit.
Enigma's so close to BKB, but just can't quite finish it off. Was trying to farm back in the jungle and mid lane. Has it coming out in the courier now, so it looks like he will have it for this upcoming team fight if Fnatic can just be a little bit patient and not get caught out. But Secret, they're running at them. They're running into the high ground.
They still have this vision. They still have this ward up here. So Zayas with a roll in. The smoke from Fnatic broken immediately. They've caught out the Pango. Silenced up and magnetized. And the snowball back in. DJ trying to close out Secret from getting up towards the Ancients. As Raven, he clears through the Earth Spirit. And Secret, that looked like a good initiation, but no one can keep up with the Earth Spirit. There's no blinks. There's no real follow-through.
Yeah, I wonder if they saw I know they've seen it now under the ward, but I wonder if they saw the BKB on Enigma, and that's why they didn't jump in to follow him up.
That's a good call. Yeah, probably the case. But rather be safe and go for any hasty decisions.
Like, if Morphling commits and follows up the Earth Spirit there, he's just getting soloed Black Hole. Like, I think Jabs' only target is going to be this Morphling now.
And Fnatic with another smoke. They cleared all that dire vision, but they're playing up into top jungle where Jabs gets the Black Hole on the Zeus. Straight onto Nisha, kill him off with one swift hit from the Terrorblade. And now into Roche they'll head. DD up on Raven. Should make short work of it.
Secret's still lingering around, but no buyback means they probably can't contest this one. 200 gold short, so it's not like he's going to have it in a second here. No Metamorphosis. Secret, they're charging forward. I think Morphling, knowing that there's no BKB Black Hole on the Enigma, really wants to take this fight, maybe.
Where is the Morph? Has he got TB mode? He does. He's got meta ready. Enchantress tanking as many spells as she can. Zayas rolls in onto the Tusk and they blow up DJ. Buyback from Puppey as well as DJ's Tusk. Knowing how important this Roshan fight is. And neither team want to commit to go into the pit.
Yeah. I'm a little, like, I think for Jabs, it's like he just saw the core and the Zeus and, you know, he's like, oh, it's Nisha from last game. I'm going to Black Hole him. But I think not Black Holing Morphling is kind of, I think, playing into Secret's hands there. Like, playing without meta, without Black Hole is so tricky for Fnatic. They cannot force this Roshan. They want to delay it. Like, I think Janduel's just, like, trying to pull Roche out of the pit with some decays here because he knows that Secret are the ones who actually can go for Roshan here with these ultis on cooldown.
Yeah, and Chrysalis just has a BKB delivered. So they get straight on top of the Undying and taking him down. In comes DJ, buyback out of Januel. Zayat has a BKB as well, though. Rolling back in towards Jabs Enigma. Zayat's the sacrifice again. As Team Secret, they force back Fnatic away from the Roche pit. Try and get Chrysalis a bit of space here. And keep Nisha at arm's reach away from that TB. And they'll walk back into the Roche pit again.
They need this meta. It's up in a couple of seconds.
Januel, the mech and the tombstone's down on the ground. Soul rips himself, but the Chrysalis damage is substantial while DJ's blown up. Nisha force-staffed away, surviving, but the Spirit Vessel's taking him down. It will clear up the Zeus at long last. Raven with that Skadi aiming for targets, but Puppey not the ideal hero to be going on. Buying a lot of space here for Secret to reposition themselves and look for another go. Armel, he balls up, tries to shield crash away, has to BKB to try and dodge away from Puppey's damage.
These fights, it's just, even when the meta came up, Raven's just struggling to dish out damage. He's having his illusions enchanted by Puppey. He's lost all of his, well, a good chunk of his agi and attack speed to the Morphling, and just being kited around. Like, it's so frustrating to be TB playing into this.
He's realized he needs BKB, he buys it now, but having BKB without meta feels so awkward. Jabs with no black hole, just blinks and midnight pulses, but Roshan's claimed by Secret. Aegis in the hands of the Morphling, Puppey shredded there by the TB, but Secret with the ability to turn around potentially. Chrysalis is struggling though, thinking about the way forward. He can morph and shift into the TB if he wants to. Battle here between Chrysalis and Raven, and the Morphling will lose his first life thanks to Armel's contributions.
I don't think FANATIC want to stick around with the Zoo showing up, but they'll be thrilled about taking out the Aegis instantly. And they did all of that without a black hole, without a metamorphosis. It was all off the backs of just fighting around this choke point where they had Tombstone down, Rolling Thunder bouncing around all the cliffs, and Armel dishing out some serious damage there. We'll see it once again.
Just wild fights.
Yeah. Really understand why things are starting to be a struggle for FANATIC. Just unable to really fight around the strength of the TB. He does queue up the Lincolns now. I think, yeah, he had a Daedalus queued up, but he switched over, knowing that the Morph being perma uptime is just ruining his life. 36 duration on a 40-second cooldown. It's always being cast on him, so he needs to not give Chrysalis this easy Morph target.
It's absolutely vital. So many tools here, you know, through draft, through play and execution. Secret are handling this Terrorblade very nicely.
Yep.
They're pinging him out now as well. Puppey is prepping his team to move bottom, but you see the radiant dots on the minimap here. FANATIC are absolutely ready to guard their Terrorblade with everything they've got.
Well,
BKB Blink Black Hole is ready.
Are they going on Puppey? I've seen this one before.
Oh, leave the Enchantress alone. Armel gonna crash forward, but a bit of a force staff back from Puppey. Creates the gap, and this is FANATIC trying to bridge it with the black hole onto the Morphling. They've caught him out, and Chrysalis is down. Huge kill for FANATIC. On to Leshrac we go, but he's got himself an Aghanim Scepter. Turning on the Nihilism, trying to get away, but Raven with his BKB is the answer to that play. Team Secret lose 2 cores. Puppey's eyes both on the run. And FANATIC, what a beautiful setup, going even deeper for more. DJ with the opening. They'll get a lot of damage on the jabs, but it's not enough to kill off the Enigma. Zayat slowed down to a crawl by Raven Scardy slow, and Nisha Heavenly Jump not gonna work. Closed in on by FANATIC. 4 down on Secret. And the Southeast Asian squad striking back incredibly hard.
They're finally found the big team fight. The Jabs is going to be thrilled. He finally got the key here. Last game he struggled to catch the sniper. This game he struggled to find the Morphling, but all it took was one black hole on the Morphling to break things wide open for FANATIC, and they're going higher ground off of that. It looked like, you know, the same kind of story from last game with the initiation on the Puppey's Ench where, you know, he buys too much time and you've kind of committed too many spells on an Ench, but it was almost a distraction. It was only Armel going on Puppey while Enigma went for the crown jewels, went for the Morphling.
The crown jewels. It really is the gem in the crown here for Secret as we see it. Zayat just trying to drag waves, delay this. They've held back FANATIC from their bottom lane. Secret have kept them at bay. And watch back the fight here. And Akimon is, yeah, jabs. Sees his target, picks his man.
And I think importantly got the Midnight Pulse down too. That's such a huge chunk of damage, having the percent-based damage against some Morphling. We'll see the Tusk go down in real time. Pick off onto the pesky DJ full position. And it's far from over here. They didn't get any lane of frags, and they're going to have to play very patiently and cautiously now with the Black Hole on cooldown for a little bit longer, but I think FANATIC have shown they've got a clear answer now for the Morphling, who's going to have to play very much around, like, maybe buyback here, where he, like, accepts getting Black Hole and just... he did a buyback that fight. I was wondering if he was going to use it, because once Black Hole's being used, he kind of does become the king of the fight.
Yeah, a minute of freedom with that Tusk kill. for Secret to push out multiple lanes. FANATIC, in fact, hiding their base. A 6k lead, not that meaningful 35 minutes in. And it feels like everyone now is really just considering the next Roshan. How can we get ourselves into a position here to get that third one? Zayats. An interesting roll across the bow of FANATIC's front line there. Januel even popping the flesh golem, expecting the continuation from Secret.
Yeah, Secret thought they were going, and they even threw the E-Blade on the Undying, but he's got a pipe now, so basically itemizing to try and counteract a lot of what Zeus is doing and to help protect the TB a little bit with the mech and pipe. Black hole back up, and definitely was not entirely sure about this minus on Jabs, but at this stage of the game, with all the 50-minute plus games, it's clearly paying off, and I think Jabs is thrilled with the pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he's level 20. He's ahead of the Zeus and the Lesh, keeping up with those bigger carries and the TB and the Morphling.
Yeah. That's gone for the Ags over the Refresher.
Is under attack.
The extra damage, wanting to make sure that they are able to kill the Morphling during it. Not to mention the fact that it's percent-based damage as well, so you combine that with the Midnight Pulse, all this damage that just pierces through spell immunity, so the Morphling's BKB doesn't really do a whole lot against the Enigma.
Yeah, at this point, I'd love to see Secret grab a gem. We've already got one over on the side of FANATIC. Januel has gone through, cleared the Ancients area. There's no dire vision here. And they're smoking up together. Again, an identical move we've had from FANATIC here to guard Roshan is this smoke from around the mid-tier 1 area and past through that top jungle, but looks like they're changing tact a little bit. Trying to play into the lane rather than the top jungle itself. I see a couple of Morph illusions, but no hero from Secret showing until Poppy says, hello, I'm an Enchantress. Yeah, come on, roll in onto me. Try and kill me off. It'll take a little while. And has buyback available if they want to fight as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pretty monster Sora up there at the end doing some good damage, and I think Fnatic, knowing they've committed a decent number of spells, just the Rolling Thunder being the big one, aren't going to hard commit to this mid lane, but Secret don't want to use a buyback at this point. They're more than happy to maybe give up an outer tower if it means holding on to even a support buyback.
Speaking of buybacks, Morphling has bought out, so doesn't have buyback for this fight. Finished off his Skadi. So Terrorblade, Pango, Zeus, Lesh, Enchantress, and Earth Spirit. All the heroes with buybacks here. As Secret have that slight defender's advantage with the buyback back into the fight. Rax being taken down quickly, though, by Eidolons and TB illusions.
Just complete caution from Fnatic. Only willing to send in the summons and the illusions. They don't quite get the range Rex. It doesn't really matter if that range Rex dies or not. It's a bit of gold. The creep pressure is kind of negligible at this point. What matters is whether or not some kind of big team fight breaks out or somebody gets caught. And Fnatic wanted to defend top and wanted to just back off and reset things for now. Wait for that next Roshan.
Yeah, another one of these games where it feels like terrain definitely does become a factor. Fnatic want these high ground spots for Tombstone. They want the choke points for Black Hole. They need the vision to see the Morphling. Secret. Trying to roll in the Zayats again. And they get the jump on to DJ. As Zayat's going to BKB and roll back away. Well, a bit of a poke and prod there from Secret to see if there are any weaknesses in Fnatic's line, but they are a chainmail link. They are all tight, holding together. Nothing could pierce through them.
They're using their vision well. Like the TB illusions, the Eidolons, they're constantly being sent out. Jabs is microing individual Eidolons in certain directions just to make sure they can get any intel about Secret's movements, where they are on the map. And Secret doing similar things often. Puppy with the Edge, Morphling with the Manta style. They've got their own ways of making sure that they try and get vision up on the map.
2 minutes for Roche. Secret Swarm and bot. No real vision for them to play into either, so not going to entertain any smoke ganks or fights here. Looks like Puppy going to guard the DD rune bottom. Still going to get...
Oh, Puppy's been found.
Yeah, he's still going to get jumped on by Armel here, and the shards allowing him to just crash roll after roll, as Crystallis, in fact, denying the DD with his illusions.
Can't really come in, not when there's a threat of an Enigma Black Hole. They don't know where Jabs is. He's over near the Roshan pit for now. It's Camp Roshan time. They've got such good vision. FANATIC with complete Team 5 control. When they've got their spells, even if they're missing one like a Rolling Thunder, that's, I think, something FANATIC's done a good job of understanding is that Rolling Thunder can just be used off cooldown. Anytime you see a support to kill, just commit it. Because as long as we've got Black Hole, as long as we've still got meta, we're not afraid of taking a 5v4 fight with Rolling Thunder on cooldown.
They're coming for your buildings, though. Tier
The
3
Lincolns
top.
now.
Yeah, protected against that Morphling morph. Resolution going to front line, clear out the waves as best he can. And such a nice shard to have as well with a split earth replicating itself. But again, FANATIC, they've got to come and contend with bottom lane, maintain this creep equilibrium, knowing that Roshan could be up any second now. They need that map state to be in their favor.
Raven does TP bottom, but immediately just drops an illusion and runs back to join his team. Just wants to make sure that these lanes are pushed out. Secret don't have the best heroes for any kind of split push here, so FANATIC get to just camp these wards smoked up. They want to start a fight, and they see Puppey.
Yet again, it's Puppey, Gleipnir,
Does de-ward.
and caught out with a walrus punch. Always funny to see that interaction between the punch and the untouchable.
Importantly, Puppey doesn't have buyback, so
Yeah.
like these Ench deaths are like kind of worth it for the vision on some level, but when you don't have buyback, it doesn't quite feel as good. And you know, again, 5v4, no Rolling Thunder. FANATIC feel confident they can win any team fight, and they can also just take a Roshan here. So doesn't look like Secret are going to be able to contest this one. They do scan it out, so but they're just going to be way too late. They're letting this one go.
And this is a Roshan with Ags. Is this now Tusk with Kick? It is. So DJ is going to have the ability here to blink in and kick the Morphling into the Enigma. So Jabs doesn't actually have to make that kind of first jump. He doesn't have to show.
Yeah. Usually these Ags and whatnot almost always go to chorus just because, you know, they're the greedy ones. They're the ones who want it. But a Tusk kick is huge, and they've got Zayat's top now. Going for the roll out, but he's got the Malefice. He purges it off, so BKB TP, not worth a black hole.
Finishes his Ags. That's what he was up top farming for. So now you've got that ability here to save someone, but Earth Spirit doesn't have Blink. There's a pretty short range on the Enchant Remnant. We'll see if he can save someone from Black Hole, though. That's going to be his key role here for Zayat. He's been the initiator, he's been the chaos creator, but now he is the saving mechanism for the Morphling against the Enigma. A Secret finding that space on the map, as they are so good at doing down bottom, keeping their net worth up there. A bit of a gap between the Morph and the TB now. But Crystal is still in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, just being able to play a team fight a bit more confidently based on Earth Spirit's positioning. Does have the Blink Dagger to follow up the Ags queued up, so...
Oh, Enchantress.
Oh my gosh.
The kick back. Is that a Yules from Puppey himself? Yeah, self-Yules, Ghost Scepter, 21 charges. Doesn't even get a chance to use them. Dead for 50 seconds. I mean, no buyback until now. Okay, he just gets the money for it, so it seems it was very well timed by Puppey there to have it available.
They're dropping the Tombstone. Raven blinking high ground with the Swift Blink.
Tier 3 being shredded. E-Blade dodge, the kickback on Nisha, they catch the Zeus, but there's the Enchant Remnant. Zayat turns him into a statue and kicks him to safety, while DJ, he pops the cheese to survive against this Metamorphosis Morphling. Puppey brought back and is up in the front lines. In a Black Hole, though, it's on to 3 of them. Jabs, he's got the perfect initiation. Allow for Raven now to chase on to Resolution. BKB's starting to wear off, though. He needs the Sunder, doesn't get a good one, and Raven's dead for the first time. Crystallis Morphling able to hold the high ground, but Secret have still lost 3 heroes quickly, and the Morphling doesn't look like he's going to stand a chance anymore. Janoel and DJ on his tail, and Secret 3 members down, make that a 4th one, and 2 buybacks from Secret on their Zeus and Morphling. A little bit scary, but I don't think they've got enough in the tank to fight against 5 of FANATIC.
Jabs redeeming himself for last game. I think Secret is so much in the mindset that, okay, he's just trying to solo Black Hole Morphling that the other 3 heroes didn't even like register that they were grouped up for a perfect 3-man Black Hole. Jabs has just been only looking for Morphling and getting a kickback. Doesn't connect, and yeah, just a dream Black Hole for the Jabs Enigma.
Huge stuff. He's waited. He's waited 90 minutes for a Black Hole like that. Gets one finally. And then straight back up to high ground. Kicking back Crystallis, forcing the waveform. He does have that TB Metamorphosis on cooldown, but DJ very low. Essence Ring gonna keep him topped up. A bit of heals coming in. And FANATIC just resetting.
Yeah, they almost got the punish on Zayat's Earth Spirit there. Great job with the Undying, using the pipe plus mech and keeping DJ alive there. He's becoming a pretty key part of their team fights with the kickback. Giving him the Ag Scepter means you definitely want to prioritize his life.
I don't know why I said Essence Ring. There's no Essence Ring anymore. It's just a ton of heals there. It looked like DJ was getting healed like 5 different things at the same time. My brain lagging a little bit. But yeah, we can see DJ able to like jump in and get out.
Yeah, I think they just so genuine. He's done like some absurd amount of healing so far this game, like 15,000 healing.
Goodness.
But still, no Rax claim. FANATIC, they've taken every tier 3 tower. Some of these range Rexes are low in health, but unable to finish any off quite yet. And now they're playing without Aegis, so it does look like they're going to... I mean, they have to play safe. Black Hole being down it's the one time of the game where Secret are able to play a bit more aggressive. But the problem is it feels like Secret, when Black Hole's down, have got out on the map, got some vision down, but they've never actually been able to take a good fight. At least not for quite some time.
Play under vision, Secret. Stay up here, smoke up together. FANATIC are over at your Ancients. They're actually spreading pretty wide here as FANATIC. Oh, Mel clears out bottom wave. Jabs is in behind him. If Secret go up this high ground, they're going to be in a 5v3 to start the fight off. Not confident enough to do it, though. Breaking into that dark area of the map. They'd much rather push out mid-wave, stay under their observer ward, wait and bide out their time.
Playing things slow, and the parts of the map where you don't have vision, especially high grounds, you just don't really want to mess with. Armel doing a good job cutting the mid-creep wave, alleviating some of that pressure that Secret's sending down the mid lane, and looks like they'll finally get their first Rax of the game with this bottom range Rax.
It took a while. I get the job done.
Eyes on DJ and Armel. They're looking for those initiations, whether it's a Rolling Thunder or a kickback. Puppey could become a target again, and there we go.
Straight in onto that Puppey Enchantress. Yules again just delays the inevitable as she lands and hits the floor with a thud. Dead for 65 seconds, but FANATIC still tentative, aware of the threat of this Zeus Morphling.
It looks like a scenario where they're actually waiting for the Rolling Thunder cooldown. He hit 25. He's 27 now in Pengo, so the Rolling Thunder cooldown, it's already back. So Puppey's going to be dead, and they'll have Rolling Thunder. That's so nice for FANATIC.
And I get the grab. Eon Disc and the enchant from Nisha. Jabs thinking about the black hole. He's waiting, trying to look for the best opportunity, but it's only Zayat's there as an option. And the quick movement across, giving Zayat a bit of space, but Raven and Armel opening up now with a black hole on the Morphling. They've caught out Crystallis. That's all they needed. A few more touches here onto the Morph will finish off this game for FANATIC as Armel controls him beautifully, and the second black hole onto Resolution will secure the GGs.
Oh, FANATIC bouncing back, and must feel so good because they took a long time before they first picked this Enigma. After losing with the hero in game 1, a lot of teams would, lose confidence in the pick, particularly with how well Secret played and drafted against it, but they made the necessary adjustments, and Jabs came back and absolutely had a fantastic game here in game number 2.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on stuff. Much easier than finding the sniper, getting these black holes on the Morphling. And yeah, Raven, honestly, during the draft, I think you're on the same page as me here, looking at the Morphling, the Lesh, the Zeus, the Ench, the Earth Spirit, 5 potential counterpicks against the TB. He didn't die a single time.
Yeah, and it felt like he was still such a big threat in every single team fight. He wasn't his pad in the stats in terms of the assists there, but honestly, fantastic game from him. And I think the fact that they had this multiple ways to jump these heroes, with DJ's Tusk and with Armel's Pengo, they were just always able to threaten Nisha's Zeus. Like when I saw the Zeus pick, I was like, this looks great. Like Zeus is against the TB, against the Enigma, just this good hero to sit back and kind of be like a magic damage sniper, but it doesn't work as well when you're constantly getting jumped on.
Yeah, real challenging from them. I mean, we saw the strength of that Aghanim's Morphling for damn sure. As we can watch a couple of these clips back. here in Game 2 as FANATIC did tie things up against Team Secret in this group stage best of 2. Now Armel skirting the edge of these fights so very well. Chrysalis really had his work cut out for him because he knew he needed to get on top of the TB, but always afraid of that Enigma with a black hole as an ever-present threat.
I think in some ways also the other big factor in this game, to me the unsung hero, is Januel's Undying. 17,000 heal, all the damage being blocked from the pipe. The fact he got such a fast mech as well. There were multiple times where he was saving teammates. We saw the DJ save up top. He's just helping keep Raven alive, the Soul Rip as well. And also just being unable to fight around the Tombstone. It felt like he was absolutely instrumental this game for FANATIC.
Yeah, that Boots level 1, getting first blood, buying Windlace and just chasing people around and zoning 2 heroes all on his lonesome as the Undying. Spectacular stuff from him. I don't know, I expected a little more from Nisha on this Zeus. It was a decent looking pick, ends up 5, 6, and 9, but just I didn't really have the opportunities to blow people up or really get involved early on. The fact that they needed to wait for Chrysalis. And it might be one of those things where, you know, Team Secret look back on this and think, why did we shift things around again? Maybe we just go back to putting Nisha on that carry mid, have Resolution on the initiation hero, because this was a bit of a step away from the normal Secret, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, Nisha's played the Zeus before, but he had like all the items you could hope for on Zeus, the E-Blade and everything, and it just, you know, it didn't really feel like he was blowing people up in the fights. Ends the game with 45,000 hero damage, most on his team, but, you know, for a Zeus in a 50-minute game, I don't think that's anything like insane or... And you look at the KDA and it's like, well, he wasn't actually finishing off many of these kills. It felt like Rezo also had a rough time. I think perhaps Secret's going to look back in this lane and think about the laning stage. That bottom lane was an absolute disaster for them. It could be very different for Rezo if he manages to kind of get off to a better start. But because he's playing catch-up, he never gets to a point where it can really be this tanky frontline Lesh. He's always just in trouble and in danger of being blown up by a Raven TV.
So much patience from Jabs. Like watching these last couple of black holes, they look nice, but it's the preceding moves that really make the difference where, you know, it's not just patience from him, it's the ability for, like you're saying, Jabs and Janabal to frontline and force the opponents into these awkward positions where they're waiting to see where is the Enigma, where is he? Jabs hiding away in the tree lines, in the fog, doing a very good job holding, you know, even 20 seconds into a team fight, just holding onto that black hole to make sure he gets the right jump every single time. And yeah, very, very well-deserved position right at the front of his squad there. Jabs with a great performance on that Enigma.
Now the captain of the team, and he's been such a key player for them. We'll see some of these final stats here, but yeah, honestly, very impressive for FANATIC. You know, a classic Raven game. I feel like he's had so many of these games at TI where he goes like deathless on some big late game carry. He's kind of at least known for playing more of the super hard carries. There's your MVP, Jabs on the Enigma. But yeah, for you fantasy players out there, pick Raven for your teams. This guy has so many like 10-0-20 games. He'll carry your fantasy Dota teams. But this man may not be putting up the same fantasy stats, but great black holes this game.
Yeah, Raven with, like, you know, assist, GPM, towers taken, whatever you want, he's got it. Because they took that tier 1 tower bottom very, very early on. But yeah, Jabs on our screen, the match MVP, doing very well across 2 games with his Enigma, looking pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
And the Hand of Midas also paying off dividends. Yeah, you see that coming in on the curry, you're thinking, wait, hang on a second, he's going Midas here, but yeah, I think it worked out for him.
Yeah, he sells it in the end to finish his refresher and get 6 slotted, but honestly, yeah, fantastic game from him. I think understanding that once again it's going 50 minutes. We're seeing a lot of these 50-minute Dota games, and that's where I think obviously a contributing factor of Enigma being a top tier pick is that Dota feels, you know, a bit slower than it used to be in some previous patches.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, that rounds things up here for our first series on the mainstream. 1-1 between FANATIC and Secret. So we can head over to Nat and have a bit of a chat about what's going on in these group stage matches.
Secret
Secret up against FANATIC. 1 piece each. That game 1 going the way of Secret, game 2 going the way of FANATIC. Let's have a little bit of a chat about it, guys. Fear that game 1 looking really great for Secret. Sort of the Secret I think a lot of people expected after watching them in last chance qualifiers.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about the early game though, because like it was a really wild early game. Unfortunately, Crystallis on his Viper. This had to be the most rough early game for any core this entire tournament. Like, he was lane swapping, he got tri-laned by 2 cores. At some point, he was the lowest net worth in the game. At 6 minutes, he had 6 CS. He's all the way down there. You can see him at the bottom of the net worth there. It was very, very sad for him. And FANATIC, they were looking so good. They had like a 5,000 gold advantage around the 22-minute mark. The kill score was doubling Team Secret as well. And I thought like, oh, this is FANATIC's game. Then all of a sudden, Secret, they get into the Roche pit. They get the Aegis on top of Nisha. FANATIC, they start using their spells a little strange to me. They ended up black holing and using the Sonic Wave on the position 4 Earth Spirit, not even killing him. And since that moment onward, Rezo took charge of the game along with Nisha on his sniper, and they just closed out the game. It was a great turnaround from Team Secret in this game.
Rezo being on a Primal Beast definitely helped them. On game 2, though, Resolution picking up the Leshrac, Kazu.
Yeah, so I feel like in this draft, it's maybe not fully ideal for Team Secret. I feel like the one thing I want to point out is that this is an insane Enigma game. It's basically free. You buy Blink BKB, and I mean, who stops you? No one. Basically, nobody. Then there's also the Pango, gonna help the team fight. So even though you have TB playing versus Morphling, it doesn't matter because your team is covering all the problems that you're dealing with.
T-Panda, for you, that Secret game 2, Secret game 2, FANATIC game 2, we're expecting it to go as long as it did. FANATIC doing the SEA thing, picking up a TB, having that late game farmer.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these TB lineups, you suspect that, okay, we've got the late game scaling, we can potentially drag it all the way around, but it was, as mentioned, like, there was some good moments for Secret through the Leshrac. You see the Morphling come out, Zeus also a bit of a nuisance. It's still considered a pretty hard counter to the TB having a Zeus up in your lineup, so Secret did a pretty good job with it, but still FANATIC able to turn it around and get that tie.
Close out that game. That's only the best of 2 here that happened on a stream. We have 4 other streams, so 5 in total that we want to cover. Very quickly touching on the fact that Entity got a 2-0 over on Thunder on the B stream, Kazi, very quickly.
All about Arc Warden, my good old friend Stormer. I've seen him play like 20 games in the pubs before. You play Arc Warden mid, you buy Flip-Flop, also known as Gleipnir, you go Axe, Travels, and you become a different Invoker, and then you win. Yeah,
well, but we see the draft here between Team Spirit and Talon. That was on that C stream.
Yeah, so when we went to this game, something that is interesting to note here is that they decided to play Doom carry. Spoiler alert, worked out very well. He had some cool item builds, also with the Ags later in the game. And basically what happened in this game is that it was a back and forth early on, but then later, you know, Talon, they kind of picked up the pace. They played very well. They had some team fights that later on with Doom being super farmed, very fat with this Ags here. As you can see, he just runs people down. You get 4-staff, well, I don't care. He has like a 500 radius. He just walks you down, and then Talon, they just got to close out game 1.
Yeah, the second one, we were able to keep a close eye on that as well, considering it went the opposite way, so both of them picking up 1 apiece.
Yeah, so with the second game, something that stood out to me a little bit is that they got their hands on Marcy and Enigma in the draft. 2 heroes that are super heavily contested, but I guess maybe Spirit had, you know, an idea of what they wanted to do against it. And at least in the early game, it didn't look like their answer was that good because Mikoto, he kind of slapped over the whole game. He had a very good early game. But overall, if people want to, you know, watch good games and get better, this is the one to watch because Spirit won purely on outplay in this game.
Oh, okay. I might even have to go back and have a look at that one then. A team that was sort of outplayed, I'm just going to say it how it is, especially in game 1, TSM kind of looking like they're struggling a lot, dragging their feet, getting 2-0'd by Asta. Fear.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough one. I managed to catch the second game, I believe, where they did a Sven 5. We're starting to see that a bit more in popularity now. And they paired up with the Drow. So it was a first pick like Shadow Fiend, and they first phased the Drow to counter. I think it's just a great counter pick, by the way. But I was super surprised that this Sven Drow lane was able to completely bully a Beast and Rubik lane. So the Drow got out of hand in this particular game. It was very well played by them. They tried to do a theory craft with the AA versus the Leshrac, because Leshrac will buy the Bloodstone. Obviously, with the AA ultimate, they will negate all that healing. So that was something they tried out, but unfortunately, it fell a little flat this game. The AA was not able to find those openings that he was hoping for, and they just couldn't close the game out, sorry. And the Drow is just way too farmed here. It's really good versus SF, though. All these agility, like, ranged cores, we're seeing more and more of this Drow counter them.
So that's all the highlights, I guess, for Asta. Means I want to flip the narrative, have TSM be talked about just for a brief moment, T-Panda, because they came second at Stockholm Major. They didn't qualify for Arlington Major. We haven't really seen them play officials for quite some time, and now they're struggling in the first 2 days of groups here at TI.
Yeah, I think TSM hasn't had that many good results in quite a long time now. I think a lot of people would see that where other North American teams would be like a bit of a wild card, TSM just hasn't been up to that level. They started off the year pretty well. Like, we looked at the results, TSM was like, okay, they're performing well on online, they're performing well on LAN, but then just falling off. I guess, you know, maybe a bit of fatigue might have been in the air at some point of the year, and they've had to do a bit of rebuilding potentially in their gameplay style, but not too many massive changes. But as you can see, they're struggling right now. TSM is not in a good place.
Yeah, another team having, I guess, those mixed results definitely throughout the year is Tundra. Again, a team that looks great at Stockholm Major, not so much at Arlington, going 1-1 here with Beast Coast.
Yeah, so this first game, when you look at basically the carry matchup, it might look like, all right, I can pretty much 1+1 sum this up, but it isn't that case. As you can see, the TB is on the back end. He was 6th in net worth at this game. So you have like this really tough lane. You have a low HP glass cannon hero versus Snap and Tiny. Ain't fun to play. Snap is always a nuisance in the lane, and especially Whisper, who I have to highlight here. Throughout the series, throughout day one, absolutely the best player from Beast Coast. I just wish that the rest of them would also get up towards his level, because this team has been together for what, over 3 years now? And it feels like Whisper is the only one who's really ready for TI. So Beast Coast have this hidden potential that we're just waiting to arise. So when you look at this game too, especially the draft that you quickly saw on Glimpse, you're like, wait, that's a Naga versus Underlord? That doesn't look too good. And then it goes vice versa. So where the TB would be better than the Sven TB loses the game, we've got Naga getting basically bullied a bit by the Underlord, but not really in game. It just felt like this mid Underlord that they decided to drive ended up dying 5, 6, 7 times this game. Like, wasn't really a pristine Underlord game in the end. They got the CK picking up the first Aegis for Tundra. At that point, it felt pretty rough, and especially for Nine's Tiny. It was a hard game in terms of Beast Coast draft doesn't really allow you to snowball in this game. The side lanes are super hard to gank. But, you know, 33 Doom, pretty stonks. Whisper is still trying to carry the team. That's basically the theme here for these two teams.
Yeah, I want to have a touch on that, Doom. Not right now, though, because we want to see the standings. Now that we've had Group A and Group B playing the same amount of best of twos, we can sort of see how they're all shaping up. And again, that Group B being so close, having 3 teams in the middle with 3 wins, 3 losses, and 4 at the bottom. Beast Coast, FANATIC, Talon, and TSM struggling at 2 wins and 4 losses. A little bit more differentiation between Group A, and we are going to see them play another best of 2, get 2 more games under their belt, see how much more that ladder is going to change up. I guess if there is a team that stands out for you guys, this is your moment to highlight that coming into Group A, how they're looking and what you expect for the first time we see them playing on day 2.
I'll go with... Go ahead.
I'll go with LGD. I think, like, today I need them to really step up, because I think with one of the upcoming matches we have later, I'll get more into it then, but my eyes are on LGD.
I want to check out Hikori, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say Hikori as well.
Yeah, that's a hot topic, right? Like, they've drew everyone so far. Can they win a series? Will they be able to stop EG's unlosable streak? Well, I guess they're playing Liquid now. We'll see if Liquid has a chance to do that as well. But if they can't, Hikori's up next.
Yeah, it's like every region team inside this Group A is like somewhere top and bottom, basically. So you got one thriving team, you got one who's still looking for their place. So this can probably shake up in this second day.
Well, I have 2 great pieces of news then for you guys. One, Hikori's playing right now over on eStream. If you guys are also interested to see how they're going to be coming into day number 2, you can head on over to that 5th stream that we have going on. But if you, Kezi, you get the real good news. We got LGD up against OG here on the main stream. We're going to look at, I guess, both teams, but also more specifically, play a comparison here between BZM and Nothing to Say.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this kind of shows in the stats already. OG have been performing better than LGD. You can see it here in the statistics as well of the mid players. I mean, BZM, you know, he's kind of some definitely hot stuff coming into the season. This guy is owning, he's feeling good. I mean, LGD, they should have been feeling good the whole season too, but now they really need to, they need to step it up. I've been clearly disappointed with their showing so far, at least just with day one, but now we're in day two, so hopefully they can change some things around.
Don't want to hop too much on LGD and sort of where they're struggling. Instead, we want to highlight how OG is really thriving. They are the only team so far to pick Elder Titan, getting 2 for 2 on that. And then the Razor and Timber sort of around Amar there. Yeah.
Well, interesting enough, they're playing that Elder Titan with 2 wins on position 4 on Taiga, which is a little strange because normally you see that hero being played as a position 5. So Taiga's taken that one up. They played against the Morphling, was really good. And, the Razor and Timber you mentioned, those are just Amar specials. Still, as we would say, living in the past with his hero pool, but he kind of brought that hero pool to existence and he's going to keep riding with it. So if there is someone I expect to pick those heroes, it is him, and I'm glad he's sticking with, what works for him.
Yeah, very quickly, T-Ben, how do you see this series going? Do you think it's going to be 1-1 apiece or 2-0 to a certain one?
Looking at the form that OG is currently in, and Yuragi, man, that guy, he was setting records as well for the Naga. He's got most last hits average per minute. This guy is going really ham right now. I think at the carry matchup, if Ame steps up his game, that's probably what a lot of people are waiting to see. Is LGD up for the task? Because OG seems like a heavy favorite. You could say 2-0. I'd like to say 1-1 on this one.
All right, I'm hoping that is the case. That game and series is ready, though. We're going to jump back with Gareth and Gods.
Thank you so much, Natya. Here we are heading into our second series of the day. LGD up against OG. And yeah, the panel's absolutely right, Gods. 2 very different stories for their day 1 group stage between them.
Absolutely. LGD need to pick things up. It's not the day 1 they were hoping for, but I think that's often the case when you come into TI. Some teams have a bad day 1 on groups, bounce back. I mean, I think most notably last TI, it was Team Spirit who started the group stage, I think, with a losing record and came back and won their last 6 or 8 group stage games. So still plenty of Dota to be played. It's a 4-day group. Having one bad day, and it was only a 1 win, 3 losses. It's not the worst thing in the world for LGD.
5 seconds.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but not the end of the world. So they drew up against Hikori and Sonics, and they lost to EG. EG stomping their way through these group stages early on, undefeated so far. And that's also the challenge that OG met, right? Because they were both undefeated, OG and EG, until that final series between them, leading to a 2-0 victory for EG. So OG started with a lot of momentum. Maybe now a little pause to think after that 2-0 loss and some things to build on. But heading into the draft here for game 1, already seeing an Undying starting out for LGD.
Yep, no surprises there. I think we're starting to see a bit of a meta emerge, at least as far as some heroes. I think one of the teams that we're seeing here, OG, they're a team that's gone very out of meta with a lot of their picks. They're still playing their Razors, their Vipers in the off lane. They've loved this ET. We're seeing the picks come out now. They had a game the other day where they opened with Slark in the first phase against Gaming Gladiators. They've been kind of just drafting their stuff. They don't care what the meta is.
Yeah, doing whatever they want. Exort Invoker first phase. Bring out the Marcy when you can. But it's going to be same old classic from LGD. Undying into Shadow Fiend, 2 very meta picks for them.
Yeah, I wonder if they feel Shadow Fiend is maybe going to be the answer to the Amar Razor. You've got a range carry that is a little bit less afraid of the static link, but their SF, of course, can be flexed, and they'll maybe wait and see a little bit more of the draft before they kind of commit to anything when it comes to the Shadow Fiend role.
Yeah, decide where you want to put him a little later on. Enigma, probably the standout omission here from the draft. Ignored so far in the bans and not picked in the first phase by either team. Is this a case of people now figuring out Enigma? Because you mentioned in the last series, maybe not worth that first phase material.
Yeah, I think at least on some level. I mean, the hero still definitely looks really strong. We saw the redemption arc in game number 2. But for, I think, PSG LGD may be feeling like it's just a little bit slower paced, particularly when you've got a Shadow Fiend. I think they're a team that just doesn't like to pick 3 kind of greedy farming cores. They like to play this kind of more fast-paced kind of style where they're the ones setting the tempo a bit. At the same time, it's still Enigma, so, OG is still going to ban it out. They're targeting offlanes. You think, what's the best offlanes left in the pool? Yeah. The Beastmaster is more of that tempo one, and I think Enigma can play at tempo. We saw it a bit last game. It's late game, but that's what makes the hero so strong. You get early Wraith Pact, or if you want to get Spirit Vessel because it's good, you can get these early game items and still contribute.
You absolutely can. And a bit more focus from LGD across to like mid lane, safe lane, even a position 4 ban out there. Kind of knowing that Amar is likely the one on the Razor, and this is probably going to be the Tiger ET, although there is a little bit of flexibility with that. And it felt like OG in their previous series, they used this ET as almost a bait for the Enigma, where they felt good having the support and allowing their opponents to pick it, but they're still opting to ban it out.
Yeah, a lot of emphasis on Faith Beyond with some of these bans. 3 offlaners getting banned out, now a 4th offlaner